Welcome to today's training program with Mr. Dan, the man with the plan, Hollings, as he's going to show you how we've helped people in 130 plus countries. I think it's at least 130 now, wiggle their way with cash flow in cryptocurrency, embracing volatility as a benefit, not as a big, hairy, scary demon or a monster. My name is Jason Flyland. I'm a co-creator of Rapid Crush Inc., and we are the proud publishers of Dan's The Plan. And we welcome you to this training. And as the publisher, we get to help support Dan, and we get to help so many of you change your financial situation utilizing the most volatile, yes, most effective. Cryptocurrency is the most effective asset that's hit the market in the last decade plus, but do in a way that's responsible as well as profitable, limiting the downside without limiting the upside. That's what we're here today. And so guess who is going to show us how to do it? The man who figured out a different way of playing crypto. His name is Dan Hollings, and it's with great pleasure that I introduce him to you right now. Dan, welcome to today's training.
Hey guys, it is my pleasure to be here today. You'll probably find that as I talk, you'll feel really relaxed and casual, because even though we're in this crazy volatile market, I've learned some secrets about it that allow me to live life, enjoy life, and yet have crypto, the most volatile thing on this planet, I mean, other than a volcano, actually be my friend. And it can be yours as well. I'm going to show you that today and just step you through what I'm doing. I started like most people, back several years ago. I'll tell you the full story in just a moment. And I learned the hard way not to do the things that I was learning on YouTube, which is where a lot of people, kind of seem to go. I found out really quick that that's a good way to lose your shirt. And I'm not saying there's not good stuff out there, but boy, did I ever not find it. And eventually things kind of turned around only because I started thinking for myself and figured some stuff out. I actually am going to share something today that I've never shared in any other webinar. I mean, we're out there. I mean, we're all around the world, 130 countries, and we have, just thousands of people that are doing the plan. So this is not anything new anymore. In fact, it's about as proven of a program as there is. It's the top crypto training program on the planet now. But today I'm going to do something different. I'm going to actually share with you 5 intimate secrets about how you handle crypto in order to do well. Now, these aren't like strategies or anything. This has more to do with what's going on in your head. And even if you don't, come with me and do the plan, these things will be tremendously helpful for you if you plan to do crypto. So I'm going to do that. It's something new if you've heard me talk before. But also I'm going to do something special. I'm going to show you live accounts of a great number of people that have been with me doing this plan now for almost a year. It was about a year ago that I shared this with a few friends. And then we put it out into the marketplace and did some one-on-ones. And I'm going to show you the accounts of the one-on-one members that have given me permission so that you can actually see how they're doing. They started with me a year ago. They're still doing it. Obviously, they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't working, and I'm going to show you their live accounts. I'm just here to share with you. So sit back. I mean, if this is for you, great. If it's not, that's okay too. But just hear me out. This is not in any way like any other crypto training or crypto that you've heard about. This is different. It's something I figured out because I got tired of losing money. I got tired of staying up all night. I got tired of watching monitors all day and studying indicators and reading charts. I just got tired of it. Now what I do most of the time, people kid me about it, but I sit out on my back porch. I play my guitar. My wife and I, we spend more time with our grandkids, and we enjoy life. And every once in a while, I'll check in on my computer and see how things are going. I'm making money literally as I do nothing. So let me share my screen here with you. There we go. And you should see my screen now. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. The plan. Write it down. This is like the first brick in a yellow brick road if you're looking to go to Emerald City in crypto land. No doubt about it. It's been proven, and you will see that as we go forward. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm doing. So nothing's going to be held back here. We're going to take, you may notice I'm not even trying to go fast. It's because you're either interested in this or not. And if you are, hang with us, as Jason said earlier, because we're just going to lay it out, okay? And it will be recorded. You can see it later if for any reason you can't hang with us the whole day today. There was a quote that I read many years ago by Malcolm Forbes, the guy that started the magazine. And I remember back when I saw it, I didn't know what the heck he's talking about. The hardest work of all is doing nothing. And I'm thinking, I've been burning my candle at both ends, right? And you probably have too. And that was just in order to make enough money. Now I was doing well and everything, don't get me wrong, but boy, I was putting in the work. And then all of a sudden, when I stumbled upon this, I found that the less I did, the better it works. And there's no trick to this. You'll see why in just a moment. But this is going to be the hardest thing you do, is learning how to do nothing. But the benefit is that you will be able to live life. I mean, why is it that you're wanting to be an entrepreneur? Why is it that you have a business that you're running or starting? Or why are you looking for something? Why are you on this webinar? It's not because you want to work hard and look at charts all day. It's because you want to have enough money so that you can do the things you enjoy. So that's what this is about. So keep this in mind as we go forward. It's not a joke. I actually have a to-do list here. And in the morning when I get up, I always check my to-do list, and it's blank. There's nothing here. This is a to-do list because when I get up, I do nothing when it comes to crypto. Later in the day after lunch, I do nothing again. And then finally, right before I go to bed, I check my list one last time and I make sure I've done nothing. That's it. This is not a joke. You will do a lot of nothing if you do this. And that's because we have artificial intelligence. We have automations that are doing the work for us. You just have to know how to set it up. And that I will show you. I have to tell you that crypto is risky. It's speculative. You could lose some money. You could lose all of your money. In fact, I will guarantee you one thing. If you do crypto, you're going to lose money along the way. The trick really isn't to try to not lose money. That's something that you've got to get used to. You're going to lose some along the way. The trick is knowing how to make more when you win than what you lose when you lose. You see, 95% of the people that do crypto lose money, and only 5% make money. And if you're not doing the right things in the right way, you're going to be a part of that losing part of the equation. So you have to understand that if you decide to do crypto, whether it's the plan or anything else, you have to understand it's risky, it's volatile, and you could lose money. Now, when I talk about doing nothing, what I'm basically saying is that you're going to set up software. I will show you how, and that will do the work for you. Okay, it's not like you make money going to sleep and all that crazy stuff. This is just that you're going to use software intelligently in order to automate what you need to do in the crypto space. So that's what we're talking about. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a tax expert or anything like that. I'm just sharing with you what I've stumbled upon, what I've worked out, and what I have been doing now for almost 4 years. And in those 4 years, the market has been up, it's been down, it has been all over the place. And in the last few months, it's just been hellacious, to tell you the truth. And yet still, day in and day out, I'm making money, our members are doing well, and I'm actually going to show you this. But you've got to understand when you come in that if you do this, you need to do it with money that you could afford to lose. The plan is now in over 130 countries, and that's in about a year's time. That says a lot. First of all, it says that no matter where you're at, if you're on this call today, this will work all around the globe. So this can work for you as long as you follow the rules and the rule sets that I share with you in the plan. But I want to take you back and tell you how it started, because in the story, you'll learn a lesson. In fact, you may even, feel like you were kind of following along the same path as me. But way back in the beginning, a good friend of mine, here he is, Tony. This is Tony with his wife, Priya. He and I had been doing many projects together, and he started calling me and saying, Dan, you should do crypto. You should buy some Bitcoin. And I had no interest whatsoever. I had done some trading back earlier in my life. And, you know, it was kind of interesting, but, you know, I didn't do well and I'd kind of lost the fire for that. And I just figured Bitcoin was just that, you know, trading once again. And I didn't want to do it, but he kept hassling me. I mean, every freaking day, Tony was saying, Dan, buy some Bitcoin, buy some. And I finally bought some just to shut him up. And I thought it'd shut him up, but then he's calling me every day asking me how it was going. And every time I would look, it was worth a little bit more. I think I spent $7,000 or $8,000 for the first Bitcoin I bought. This is back in 2017. There was a big crazy bull run back then. Okay. I bought some, and every time I'd look at it, it'd be up a little bit more, and up a little bit more, and up a little bit more. And I started thinking, wow, this is pretty cool, Tony. And then I started pretending like I knew what I was doing, and I started trying to trade, and I started getting into it, and I thought I had figured all this stuff out. Oh boy, was I ever wrong, because all I had done is managed to get in at a time when the market was just going crazy. Anybody that got in back then would look like a genius. And it kind of went to my head. I thought that I was this brilliant trader, and lo and behold, 2018 came along, the market started going the other way. The things I was doing before wouldn't work anymore. I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was embarrassed because I had always done pretty well. You know, I'm known as the guy that teaches people how to make money online. I've been doing that for years. I'm also the guy that launched the hit movie, The Secret, and you know, the movie and the book. You know, and so people, you know, expected me to be able to figure things out. Well, boy, this sure had me stumped, because I lost everything. I mean, everything I had put into crypto, hundreds of thousands of dollars, gone, just gone. And I told everybody I was getting out of crypto, but in secret, I kept at it. It was like I was a closet, you know, a crypto trader. And I kept trying this and that and everything else, trying to figure out how to make this thing work. Finally, what happened, and this is in 2018, I stumbled upon an idea, and that was that if I could make friends with the very thing that scares most people, and what am I talking about? Volatility. If crypto's anything, it's volatile. I mean, crazy volatile. But if I could make friends with that some way and tap into it so that that's the way I made my money, rather than riding these waves ups and downs and watching a YouTube video and trying to catch a moonshot, which is the craziest thing ever, if I could figure out how to make money on a regular basis from the volatility, that would be the secret. That sounds easier than done, but that's what I started trying to do. And I figured out this idea. I found this software. I'll show you in a minute. You're going to see this. There aren't any secrets. And all of a sudden, it started making money. Now, it wasn't a lot. I remember telling Tony, I said, Tony, this thing's making money all day. I mean, every minute money was coming in. But it wasn't much. I mean, it was like a nickel or a dime or a quarter. It was ridiculous. And I said, Tony, I'm not sure. I see the good part is we were making money, but it wasn't enough to do anything with. It was a tiny little amount. And I said, you know, I think we could rev this up though. I mean, it's nothing wrong with making, you know, it's kind of like a vending machine, you know, nothing wrong with making a quarter here and 50 cents there. But if we could rev it up and make a lot of quarters and a lot of 50-cent pieces, then maybe it could add up. And Tony was skeptical, but we kept at. And boy, did it add up. I want to show you in just a minute. And what I figured out is that if you like take a microscope and go down in the weeds on crypto, I mean, I'm talking about at the minute scale, crypto is wiggling. I don't call it volatility. The volatility is when it goes way up and way down, you know. But down in the weeds, it wiggles every minute. It's always just wiggling. And because of that, if you can play that wiggle against itself, you can start making vending machine money. And you can multiply this until it adds up. You will see in just a moment. So that's the way all this started. And then I remember telling Tony, we started, you know, revving it up. Money started coming in. I said, Tony, let's just keep this our secret. And he said, okay. No problem. And we just kicked back and we were just doing this for quite a while until Elaine called. Now, this is Elaine. Elaine was a friend of mine. In fact, Elaine had introduced me to Tony originally. And she said, Dan, I'm getting into crypto. I've heard about the blockchain. And she said, this is the future. And I said, Elaine, yeah, I got you. But you're going to lose your shirt if you don't know what you're doing. She said, I don't care, Dan. I've read about it. You know, everybody's doing it. I'm getting in. I said, Elaine, 95% of people lose money and you're probably going to lose money. I lost money. Tony lost money. She said, I don't care. I'm going for it. I said, well, why don't you get on a call? And we got together on a Zoom call and I showed her what I was doing. And a few minutes later, she starts making money. Okay. And I'm thinking, well, the cat's out of the bag now. She called me back a week later and she said, Dan, this is crazy good. Why don't we tell Daniel? Daniel was another friend of mine. And I said, okay. And so we called Daniel. We got Daniel on the phone and I set him up and he starts making money a few minutes later. And he called in his son, Anthony. Here's Anthony. And Anthony gets going on it and he's making money a few minutes later. Now, all of these people I'm showing you, they're not just random people. These are now the people that are going to help you because they're on the call right now. These people and some others I'm about to show you, these are the first people that I showed the plan to. And they decided that they would stay with to help me share it with the world. In fact, what they did is they ganged up on me. And they said, Dan, you can't keep this a secret. I don't care how good your rocking chair is, you got to get off that sucker. You're going to have to share it with the world because we were going through a pandemic. The economy is crashing. Things were bad. And here I am making money doing nothing and everybody else is struggling. And so they convinced me that I should share it with other people. So I shared it with my COO, Ian. He's in Israel. He's on with us today. I shared it with my marketing guy, Mikey, down in Florida. He's on with us today. I shared it with Ashley. She's my marketing lady, and she's up in Canada, and she started making money. We were sharing with everybody. And they said, we've got to share this with the world. So I said, okay. I kind of didn't want to. And I said, well, if you can convince Jason and Will to come in and help with the marketing, then I'll do it. Because I didn't want to have to do, I'm good at that, but I didn't want to do that. And I knew back in the back of my mind, I said, Jason and Will are not going to go for this. They're not into crypto. They're just not. And so I said, that's my out. So we got on the phone call. Had to kind of trick them to get on, but we got them on the phone call. I shared with them what I'm doing. They were as negative as hell in the beginning. And then all of a sudden, about 5 minutes into the call, they're both sitting up on the edge of their chair and they're going, set us up. So I set both of them up at the exact same time, the exact amount of money, and they both started doing it. They both started making money minutes later. Then they said, look, Dan, why don't we share this with just a small group? We'll do an email. And if people are interested, it'll kind of be like a test. Then we can go big with this. And I said, all right, well, let's put a big number on it. I was trying to make the number big enough so nobody'd sign up. And so we decided we'd charge $10,000. Now, this is great. I keep trying to set up roadblocks because I didn't want to share it. And so they shot an email out, $10,000. You can spend a couple hours with Dan. He will show you a plan how you can make money in crypto. Okay. So I thought I was home free, but then what happened is so many people started paying $10,000, and I'm not kidding you. There were so many people I couldn't get to them. I mean, there was no way I could literally spend 2 or 3 hours with every single person that signed up. And so I didn't even get through 20 people. It was less than that. All those people are still with me. I'm going to show you many of their accounts here in just a moment. But all of these people paid $10,000 and I showed them what we were doing and they started making money. I mean, it was almost like, I felt like, what's that guy's name? Midas. Everything I touched turned to gold. That's what was going on here. Everybody that learned the plan started making money. And it was crazy. So that's why I'm here today, because that was the evolution of this. I didn't sit down and, try to figure out some, tricks and strategies so I could do a course. What we ended up doing was this. We had so many people pay $10,000, I couldn't get to them. We started sending them their money back because I honestly, I couldn't get to them. And we ended up creating a course so that more people could learn this. And then it started spreading. It went all around the world. We now are the biggest crypto training class and the best in the world. And we've done this first rate. And one of the things that I'm really proud of is we have, I don't even know the count, 40 or 50 people on our support team at this point. All of these people you see here on the screen right now, they're our tier 2. These are the people that will help you with any single thing you want. But we've got another 40 on top of that because this can be scary. And we know that you need a little hand holding. If you're brand new, certainly you're going to need it. If you've been doing it, then you probably, touched the stove and you burned your hand a little bit and you're probably reluctant to try certain things. We know that you need help right away. And so we've set this thing up to be your friend, a trusted resource that's going to show you how to play this game safe. And that's what this is all about. This is me with my dog Skippy. You'll see him in some of my trainings. He was with me all along the way. He's my rescue dog. And of course, the only thing missing is you. And we're going to talk about how that could change if you'd like to do what we're doing, and that's wiggling our way to wealth. It's kind of funny, but that's what we're doing. We're wiggling our way to wealth. We're not trying to catch moonshots. We're not trying to predict the market. We're not even reading charts. We're not setting up indicators. In fact, we're doing other stuff. We're letting automation do it, but it's this wiggle down in the grass at the microscopic level that is paying like a vending machine, nickels and dimes and quarters and nickels and dimes and quarters over and over and over. And you're thinking, Dan, that's got to be not too much. Well, let me show you. I'm going to take you back and show you inside my account. These are screenshots of my personal account for over a year. I mean, I've been doing this almost 4 years now, but and I could go back further, but I'm going to take you back over a year so you can see a good chunk, a representative sneak peek into what I've been doing and how these nickels and dimes and quarters add up. In fact, I'll show you all through last year, and then we're going to go live and I'll show you some things that have been happening in the current year. So you're going to get to see more than you'll ever get to see. There is nobody else teaching crypto that's going to show you as much evidence as what I'm going to show you. And yes, these are screenshots, but later we're going to go in and look at live accounts. All right. This is back in August 2020. All right, I made $94,649. Now, let me talk about money for a minute, because there's two kinds of money in crypto. One kind of money is the kind that's in your pocket that you can spend. I like that kind. The other kind is theoretical. You ever have somebody that they said, oh, I bought Bitcoin back in 2015 and now it's worth 3 times as much. And you're thinking, well, great, why don't we go to lunch and talk about it? And he said, well, I would, but I don't have any money. That's not the kind of money that we're talking about here. I think that the first thing that you want is cash flow. You're not looking to put your hard-earned money into an asset and wait 2 or 3 years. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you're broke for 2 or 3 years, right? That's called hodling. It's a good thing to do, but it doesn't give you money to live on. This money that you're looking at here, month after month, as I'm going to show you, is money that came into my pocket in nickels and dimes and quarters. And when I say my pocket, that means it came into my exchange and I could withdraw it if I wanted to and spend it on a house or a car or buy lunch or whatever. And I did that a lot. All right. Or I can roll it back into investments, whatever I like. This is not theoretical money. This is extracted from the market. It's in my pocket. It's free and clear. Let's look at the next month. September, I make $100,000 over that in that month in spendable cash. Inside the software, and you will have access to this. This is not my software. It is a third-party software, okay? But inside the software, there's this place where you can go in and you do this little widget and you punch in the dates and it'll show you. Back in October, I made $6,112. This is back in 2020. And now I'm going to do the next month. In November, I made $30,547 in spendable money in that month. In the next month, that's December of 2020, I make how much? $70,970. That's in December. Now we're rolling into the new year, 2021. And for the first month, how much do I make? $41,283. Now, about this time, COVID is starting to come into the marketplace, right? But what do I do for February? Well, $161,000 in spendable nickels, dimes, and quarters in my pocket. And then the next month, March, okay, everything's in lockdown, right? And what do I do? $20,958. And it just keeps going. Now, I don't want you to think I'm sitting here looking at charts. I'm on my back porch, folks. All right. And for April, I make $24,444 in spendable money. This is easy to get used to. Now, I did this video up through May and had a nice little funny closing there. Maybe you should be doing this, but let me keep going here because more happened after May. In May, I made $49,106. And the next month, I make $11,029. We're in 2021 now. In July, I make $34,693. The next month, August, I make $20,425. Still in 2021. And September, I make $81,902. This is easy to get used to. Okay, really easy to get used to. October, I make $37,994. And then in November, I make $44,330. Now, the big question everybody asks is, well, Dan, this sounds great, but how much did you put in? What I will say is I did start with less than $10,000. This was a long time ago, folks. This was after I lost everything that I had put in crypto back in 2017 and early 2018. And this was during a period of time that started with what you probably heard of it, crypto winter. It was the worst of worst of worst times in crypto. And that's when I started developing the plan. That's when I discovered the wiggle. That's when I set this up. And many of these numbers, okay, came forth from that period. So this has been time tested in good markets and bad markets, in all markets. And indeed, we're in that at this moment. And it just keeps going. I mean, the last month of the year, I made $26,108 in spendable money. And indeed, I'm going to show you live accounts in just a moment to carry forth into the new year. So this thing works. If you've been adding it up, you'll know that I made, just from the screenshots I've shown you, that was $856,433. That's a lot of money, but it wasn't over then. Because even though this part of the plan, these automations, is the first thing I show you, it's only the tip of the iceberg. I start with cash flow because that's what's important, right? But then I show you how to do HODL. I do HODL quite differently than most people. HODL means to hold. You probably heard that. It's when you buy some crypto and you just hold it for a year or longer. But there are ways to do that where you can actually increase how much crypto you have by the time you get to the end. Most people hodling don't do that. Or you can earn extra yield as you're holding it. Well, I did that. I'll show you how. And I turned that into almost $1.5 million. In fact, this was a screenshot taken recently, $1,462,000. Now look, the plan is exactly as the title suggests. It is a plan, because I knew from what I learned the hard way in 2017 and 2018 that I didn't want to take these big risks. I didn't want to chase moonshots. I didn't want to do things that were not safe. I wanted a safety net. I wanted stuff that I could count on. And so I started structuring a very robust plan. There is not, I say this without any doubt, there is not a plan for crypto that is more thought through, robust, and time tested, and has made millions for me and others than what you're looking at right here. We divide things into strategies. We hodl. We have a reserve. We do a lot of things that are different. We have diversity. We have strategy. We have hodling on steroids, and we have planning. Now, I'm not showing you everything here, but I don't want you to think this is just about automations or just about bots or just about artificial intelligence. That's just where we start. And then I map it out so that you're able to do all of the stuff that's out there. And you'll see that too as I go forward here. This is a plan. The last thing you want to be is the man or the woman without a plan. Now I'm going to talk just a moment about Bitcoin, because whatever Bitcoin does, the rest of the crypto market kind of follows along on its coattails. And if you in your mind could come to grips with what is the likely trajectory of Bitcoin, then you would feel much more comfortable about doing this. Now, what's cool about what we're doing with the plan is the fact it is independent of market direction, whether the market goes up or the market goes down, or if it goes sideways. We're going to be able to pull the wiggle out and make that vending machine, throughout. It's independent of that. Okay, obviously it does better when it's going up, but the market most of the time goes sideways. 80% of the time, the market's going sideways. Most traders hate that because they're sitting around twiddling their thumbs, hoping it'll do one thing or the other, but they're not making money. We make most of our money when the market's going sideways. That's during that 80% of the time. And we even make money when it goes down. You'll see that. But wouldn't it be great if you could double dip? What if you could catch the market at the time where it is low, and you could ride this thing as it continues going up? Now, I can't predict or guarantee whether the market's going to go up or down. No one can. But there's this guy, his pseudonym is Plan B. He created this remarkably accurate Bitcoin indicator, and it predicts and has predicted for over a decade what the path of Bitcoin will likely be. And it's been just darn accurate. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So if this thing continues to be as accurate as it has been for the last decade, then it is a good glimpse into what your future could bring for you. So let's look at this thing. The actual indicator itself is just that brown line that you see there. That brown line has a couple of spots in it that are curious. All right, what am I talking about? You'll see right here and right here and right here and right here, there is an incline that seems kind of contrived, as if though it was programmed into the code or something. I mean, how can the market just go up predictably a certain amount evenly like that? Well, surprise, surprise, Bitcoin has this thing built into the code called a Bitcoin halving that occurs about every 4 years. And every time it occurs, Bitcoin has a parabolic run. And Bitcoin started way, way back, okay? It started back about a little over 10 years ago. In fact, you probably heard the story about the pizza. One of the first things ever bought with Bitcoin was 2 pizzas. And they paid 10,000 BTC for that. It's kind of funny. Hey Siri, how much is 10,000 BTC worth?
10,000 Bitcoins is $378,864,500, according to Yahoo Finance.
$378 million pizza. That's crazy, right? And you're thinking, I wish I had been back then. I wish I had 10,000 Bitcoin back then. I mean, that's unbelievable. Well, it's not any different today. I promise you that 10 years from now, when we look back at what you could buy with today's Bitcoin, you're going to be just as astonished. That's my opinion, but you're going to be just as astonished because Bitcoin has been programmed in a way that makes it inherently more valuable as it goes along. Now, we're not, unfortunately, we're not able to jettison ourselves back in time, and we're not talking pizza. We're talking today. So let's look at this thing. Back when Bitcoin first started, there was a halving, and you could see what happened is the price was underneath the indicator brown line, and it busted through and it went on up to about $1,000. I wasn't around then doing Bitcoin, and probably you weren't either. Let's move forward. I got involved here. Now, there was a Bitcoin halving in the latter part of 2016. I got involved in 2017, and this thing went from underneath the brown indicator line. It broke through and it went up above, and it peaked out at just shy of $20,000 per Bitcoin. All right, that's when I got in. And then after that, we had that thing that's called the Bitcoin or crypto winter. And it was then that I developed the plan. That sounds like a horrible thing, but when you see it on the chart, it doesn't look so bad. Yeah, this is crypto winter right there. I mean, give me a break. But back in the day when we were going through this, it seemed, that, who knew if this thing would even make it. Now, one footnote, this crazy bull run we had back then was built on what's called FOMO, fear of missing out. And that's because one person would buy and they'd hear somebody else buy, and people were buying because they were just afraid they were going to miss out. But it was really the greater fool theory that was going on, because you'd buy some Bitcoin hoping that another fool would come along and buy it for higher than you paid, and then another fool and another fool, and it just kept going until we ran out of fools. And that was around $20,000. And then everybody lost. I mean, almost everybody. And it went down. There were no fundamentals underneath crypto or Bitcoin back then, but today it is totally 100% different, folks. Today, Bitcoin and crypto is legal tender in some countries. It is being put on the treasury, the balance sheets of major corporations. It has been integrated into every part of life that you can think about. MasterCard and Visa settles all of your statements on the blockchain now. The blockchain is now underneath our future. You will live, in fact, you're already heavily into a blockchain future. Your children will not know of any other future, the old traditional way of doing financing, going down to the bank and letting them rob you for a year and give you a 0.5% interest, those days are gone. All right. And it is Bitcoin and the crypto space that is replacing that because it's smart. Now, one of the reasons is not because it's, you know, the crazy stuff we were doing back in 2017. It's because it makes more sense. The blockchain is more secure. Okay. You can't, you know, the fraud here. I mean, don't think there aren't scams and stuff. There's scams everywhere in the world, including in crypto, but the blockchain itself is basically fraud proof. So it's the most secure thing that you can do. We are in this different world at this point. You're going to be in crypto heavy duty every single year. It's going to increase. So why not learn how to do it right now, do it right, and position yourself ahead? What you have a chance to do is this. Look at this green square. Right now, Bitcoin's doing you a favor, whether you realize it or not. Bitcoin is giving you a discount. It is below that brown indicator line. My opinion is that it's going to do as it has done every other time before, and it's going to bust through that brown indicator line and head on up. And when it does, where will it be? Somewhere around 100,000 or north of 100,000 per Bitcoin. And right now we're in the 40s, upper 30s, 40s, okay? That's a discount. Plus, I will show you how to position yourself, get cash flow coming in, and do this smart, because guess what's coming up? See it on the chart? Hello? There's another Bitcoin halving in your future. And if you are smart, you will get yourself ready for that. You're not going to get rich doing the plan by starting and waiting a week and cashing out. That ain't going to happen. But if you do this the way we're doing it, and tens of thousands of people around the world are doing it, if you play it right, when we have this next Bitcoin halving, that's wealth, folks. I've already been through it. I'm already there, well there. And I'm showing you exactly what I did. I'm showing you exactly what Tony did. I'm showing you what other people are doing here. Where will we be? When this halving occurs, around 2025, this is likely to go on up to $1 million. Now, listen, disclaimer, this thing could go the other direction. Nobody can predict anything. But if this indicator is correct, and it has been for a decade, then we're going to be looking at over $1 million. Are you in the right place at the right time? Yeah. Bitcoin is more scarce than gold. If you had bought gold 10 years ago, you'd be lucky to break even today. It's no longer a great store of value. Bitcoin is more scarce. There will never be any more than 21 million Bitcoin. Most of it's already been mined from the code and is out there. Most of it is. In fact, it has already created more than 60,000 millionaires. I'm one of them. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it and exactly how you can do it. That's what the plan is. Bitcoin has been the best performing asset for the last decade, not by a little bit. It's beat stocks, it's beat real estate, it's beat commodities, it's beat everything by over 1,000%. Why wouldn't you want to be involved in that? It is your future. You can't dodge it, so you got to be involved in it. It's been performing great. I mean, there isn't a reason, except that it's volatile, except that it's scarce, except that most people don't have a plan. And most people lose 95%. 95% of their people lose money. That's what I should say. Okay, how do I do this? This is so simple, you're probably going to laugh. In fact, what I'd like for you to do to best understand this is pretend that you're a spider. Okay, play with me a little bit here. Okay, you're a spider and you want to catch a fly or some wiggly bug, all right? And so you decide that you're going to do what? What do spiders do? They set up a web. They don't know where the fly is going to go, so they set up a web so they can catch it no matter where it goes. It's a great strategy. That's the same strategy in a way that we're doing, only we don't call it a spider web, we call it a grid. And on your exchange, and you can use any of the big exchanges out there, okay? We work with over 30 different exchanges. On your exchange, you will set up a web, a grid, and there'll be a top of the grid range, and there'll be a bottom of the grid range, and it will be the software that does this for you. I mean, you're not having to go in, but you don't even have to go in your exchange, to tell you the truth. You go into the software, you set up a few things, I'll show you the settings, and then boom, it creates this trap. Now, the real trap has many more lines than this. I'm just simplifying it and only showing you 8 lines here. We have 4 red lines, we have 4 green lines, okay? Wake up if you're not watching, because this is the secret right here. Now, the red lines are sell orders. You don't have to know that, but anytime price trips across a sell order, if you own a little crypto, it will sell it, just a tiny little bit. And then it will also set up buy orders. And if price trips across any of your green buy order lines, then the software will buy just a little bit of crypto. When I say a little bit, maybe 25 bucks worth, okay? That's what we're talking here, 25 bucks worth. Now, what we do at that point is we get in our rocking chair, get out our guitar and start strumming away, because there isn't anything else to do. And we just wait. Here comes the fly. I'm sorry, the price. It's coming along. It trips across the green buy line, and the automation automatically buys just a little bit of crypto for you. And then if it wiggles on up and it hits a red line, then the software knows to sell your crypto, and you will make a little bit of money, 25 cents. That's it, okay? It's like a vending machine. And then price keeps wiggling, as it always does in crypto. Minute after minute, it hits a green line and it will buy a little bit of crypto for you. And if it wiggles on down further, it will buy a little more. You know how? Using something called dollar cost average. As price goes down, you don't want to freak out. That's what most people do. But you don't want to freak out. You want to buy more, right? When you're at a store and they keep saying the price is being lowered on aisle 5, you don't run out the door. You run to aisle 5 and you buy more. And if they say, oh, price has dropped again, you buy more, and they keep dropping it, you keep buying more. That's the smart way that every financial advisor that I've ever heard says you should buy stuff. As price drops, you do a little at a time, dollar cost average. And that's what this thing is doing. And it is smart enough to know that if it has gone down, it turns a green line into red line, so that if it wiggles back up, and it does quite often, it hits, it sells, you make 25 cents more. That's it. That's what I'm doing all day, every minute of every day, multiple times, across every coin pair you can think of, and we're wiggling our way to wealth. Now, some people are going to be skeptical. In fact, if there's a little voice in the back of your head right now, it's probably your mother, your grandmother saying, hey, you know, this guy, something he's not telling you, or there's a catch. Like, for example, they have exchange fees, and that's going to eat up all your profit. You're not going to make any money. How can you make any money when these exchanges charge all of these fees? Well, they do charge fees, but it's a small percentage of your profit. For example, maybe a nickel. In this case, it might be about a nickel. I'm only going to show you net spendable profit in every number I show you. All those numbers I showed you earlier, that $850,000 that I turned into almost $1.5 million, that was after all fees have been paid. That was net money in my pocket I could spend. And that's what I'm showing you here, net again. And that's it. Now, here's what it looks like in the real world. If you were to look at the software and you saw a grid, it would look more like what you see here on the screen. Not that big bubblegum machine on the right side. That is a grid. And these things are monstrous. They cover a range of, 80%, 150%. I mean, it's a huge range. And why is that important? Well, we have this asset that it goes crazy. You read about it in the news all the time. Oh, crypto is dumping. People are jumping out of buildings. They're losing everything. You hear about that and you think it's crazy. And then you read about the 14-year-old kid that bought some meme coin and he's now a billionaire. I mean, all the news does is publish a bunch of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, or a bunch of unbelievable stories about people that do these crazy stuff. Okay, that stuff ain't going to get you nowhere. It's going to scare you half the time, and it's going to give you false hope the rest of the time. This is reality here. We just set up a trap, and we don't care. Right here, when you see this drop, that is a huge drop that you're looking at on the screen right now. Now, pardon these dots. The dots, every time there is a red dot, that means I've sold a little bit, remember? I showed you that a minute ago. Every time you see a green dot, that means I bought a little bit, and it just keeps buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. I mean, there must be 3,000 or 4,000 dots here on the screen. Okay, this could represent, you know, a couple of $1,000s in my pocket on the screen. But right here, I want you to note that this thing dived, and it probably dived, I don't know, 30 or 40%. If you were watching television, they would be talking about the big market crash. But if you were with me, you'd be smiling. You'd be saying, oh, this is great, because it doesn't just drop, it wiggles as it drops. Sometimes it wiggles so much as it drops that it makes more money in the wiggle than the loss in value of the asset. And even if it doesn't, it just keeps wiggling, and eventually the wiggle can sometimes exceed any loss. That's why this thing works, whether it's going up or going sideways or even going down. Now, remember, you can lose money in crypto and you can lose money at this, but here's one thing I can tell you for sure. When you do lose money doing the plan, you always lose less than anyone else that is trading the exact same pair. And that is because everyone else buys and hopes it goes to the moon, and if it doesn't, they just lose. Whereas when we start, we set a trap, and if it does happen to go the wrong way, we make money even as it goes the wrong way. And that's the difference. Now, I used to own a bunch of these spiral gumball machines back, oh gosh, a couple of decades ago. And I had them in restaurants, and I had them in the movie theater and car washes all around my hometown. I had 40 of them. And it reminds me of this business, and that's why I'm telling you about it. But what would happen is, you know, the kids would come in and, hey, mom, give me a quarter. They'd throw their quarter in there. The gumball comes spiraling down. I would come by, you know, every week or two, and I would put new gumballs in, and I'd take the money out. I have to give half of it to the owner of the business. I hated that part, but I had to split the money. And then I'd take, you know, I'd clean the machine up. I'd go home. I'd pour the quarters on the kitchen table, and my wife, my daughter, we'd sit there and we'd roll quarters. We'd watch TV, have a beer, popcorn, and it was great, you know. And I know there were automatic coin rollers, but it was a lot more fun to get your hands dirty, you know, and we'd just roll quarters all night. And I did that for years. This reminds me of that, but I don't have to split the money with anybody. I don't have to roll quarters. I don't have to put bubble gum into the machine. I don't have to, you know, chase ants off. They would get in there sometimes. None of that. This is like having a bunch of virtual vending machines spitting out nickels, dimes, and quarters day in and day out. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you, just as I promised in the beginning, 5 of the biggest secrets I know. Now, I've already shown you how I make my money, and I've kind of tickled a little bit about the fact that there are other ways too, and indeed there are. These are things that have more to do with your psyche, your head. Half of the game in crypto is right here in your head. And if you will absorb these 5 secrets, it's going to help you a lot. So we'll go through that, and then I'm going to take you into some member accounts, and you're going to see live how this is working out for members that have been doing this for almost a year. So let's look at these 5 secrets. Secret number 1, a goal without a plan is a wish. Now, this is by a French aviator. He was a writer, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. He wrote The Little Prince, The Petit Prince. But this really is at the core of where I think most people make their mistake. They say, oh, I'm going to get into crypto, and my goal is to become a millionaire. All right. And they'll buy some, and they sit there and they wait and whatever. They had a goal, but without a plan, it's just a wish. It's almost like gambling, to tell you the truth. We can fix that part. Secret number 2. An optimist is a person that sees green lights everywhere. That's the person that goes to YouTube, and every single guru they see is a green light. One of them says, buy this, it's going to the moon. The next one says, buy that, it's going to the moon. The next one says, do this liquidity pool, it's making a return that's like blah, blah, blah. And the other one says, no, do this. Every single YouTube video is a green light, and they're just throwing money all around, okay? I'd also call that strategy hopping. Doesn't work. I've been there, I've done that, and I don't think you can show me one person that has made that work for them. But that's the optimist that just thinks everything in crypto is great until they lose everything. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, we have the pessimist that only sees red stoplights. That's the person that they just keep reading the FUD, the fear, the uncertainty, and the doubt that's being pushed out into the media, and they don't ever stop because they're scared to death. Now, I don't blame them because it does seem scary, okay? But they're a pessimist about this. They are going to end up in crypto. It's just that they're going to just keep resisting and resisting, partially because they're scared and partially because they just don't know what to do. But this is what I will turn you into, a truly wise person. It took me a long time to get here. And this slide means a lot to me because even though it just seems like a quote, and it's by Albert Schweitzer. I think he got the Nobel Peace Prize. The truly wise person is colorblind. When you're in crypto, you need to become colorblind. And you just continue to follow a plan. It's like a rule set that I will give you. And you don't get all crazy when it goes green, and you don't freak out when it goes red. It's going to go red a lot, and it's going to go green a lot. It just depends. It's kind of like the tide. You know, if you were a fisherman, sometimes you have high tide, sometimes you have low tide. You don't freak out. You got to go fish, you go fish. You just don't go. It doesn't matter. And you have to be colorblind when you do crypto. And that is worth a screenshot. Save that. Now, if you think that Bitcoin will someday be worth more than it is today, remember the stock to flow indicator that I showed you? Okay, I kind of think that that's the way it's going to flow. If you think it's going to be worth, why would you be on this webinar if you didn't think that? Then the more red that you see in the markets, the bigger the discount you're going to get. And I'm telling you this because you're about to see some red in the market. I'm going to show you exactly where the market is right now, and it's as red as it's ever been. And that's a good thing, because that means that if you are smart, if you're colorblind, if you've got a plan, then you're going to get the biggest discount that anybody could possibly imagine. And this thing has a strong likelihood of doing quite well for you, because you're going to get prepared over the next several months for the next Bitcoin halving, right? Why not? I'll show you. You just got to do it. You don't have to have a lot of money either. Okay, you can start with a small amount, but you'll have a plan and you'll feel confident, and you'll have people like all those people I shared with you earlier, Elaine and Anthony and Daniel and Tony. They are going to be there. We answer our tickets like in an hour or so because we know how important it is. And then finally, secret number 4, if I could show you how to get paid while you wait at the red light, would you be willing to wait? I think the number one skill set that you have to have in crypto is patience, okay? But isn't it easier to be patient if you're being paid while you wait? Everybody else is freaking out. They're not getting paid and they're waiting, or they're selling at a loss. And we're sitting here and we're getting paid while we wait because we know what the future is going to bring. And we're just letting the wiggle pay us, and we know it's going to go up. So it's red today. I'm going to tell you without a doubt. I'm going to show you a lot of examples. You're going to see a lot of red. And what are our members doing? They're going, right on, baby. It is red as hell. And we've been doing DCA and we've been buying, and we're in the most incredible position there is. And we're making wiggle while we wait. That's what's going on. So I'm going to take you in and show you accounts here. And every account that you see is live. And you're going to see the status of most of the members that started with me way back. Every member that gave me permission, I'm going to show you, okay? And you're going to see them all. And I'm doing it this way because I don't want to cherry pick. I'm just going to show you everything so that you see it all. But when we get into the count, there's a couple of things that you need to understand so that you're looking at this intelligently. First of all, you'll see that the total sum that the person has invested will be listed right at the top where it says sum value. That means, like in this example, that this person has $17,695 invested in several automations. The number of automations is right here. In this case, there are 5, all right? And they would be further on down the screen here. You can't see it, but $17,000 is invested across these. Now, the next thing that you'll look at is bot profit, and this is the wiggle. This is the money you're getting paid as you're waiting at the stoplight, all right? And you can see in this case, the person has $5,717 cash in their pocket that they likely have already spent, or they've rolled it back into other investments. This is real money that's coming in because of the wiggle. Are you with me? Now I'm going to show you one more number. And this is the number where everybody freaks, but I'm going to ask you a question. If you've been listening, what is that number? What do you think that number is right there? Negative $3,434. There you go. That's the red light. The market's down right now. If this person were to liquidate their entire automated set of bots, if they just stopped them all right now, they would have a net loss of $3,434. But they don't do that, okay? It's kind of like your house. Let's get out of crypto for a minute so you can understand what I'm saying here, because this is really important. If you bought a home, let's say it's well, let's start with your own home. If you bought your home and then you found out a year later that the home was worth less than when you bought it, would you sell it? You go, whoa, honey, let's get out of here. The house is losing value. Let's get out of here before it goes to zero. I mean, would you do that? No, but that's what people do in crypto all the time. You'd say, oh, honey, hey, the houses are down right now. And your wife probably say, don't worry about it. We ain't moving anyway. And that makes a lot of sense. So that's what this is. You don't worry about this because you're not selling it anyway. You haven't lost that money. It's just that the market is in a dip and your automation has been buying that dip. And as it's wiggling around, that's why you're making this money over here. This is a red light. This is the money you're getting paid as you wait. Who cares, right? It's kind of like if you had a rental property, this would be the rent that's coming in. You wouldn't sell if the property dropped in value. You just keep collecting the rent. So if you understand this and you get this red light concept, bingo, you're ready to start the plan. Let's look at some people's accounts. I'm going to show you the status of almost our entire group. Every person that gave me permission to show their account, I'm going to show you their account. And then I'm going to show you one more secret. There's secret number 5 that's coming up. I'll show you that after we look at all these accounts. I'm going to go into my web browser in order to do that. So let's do that now. Okay, the first thing I need to do in order to maintain privacy for our members is I have to hide the web address here, okay? Other than that, you're gonna see their live account. It doesn't reveal their name or their account number or anything else like that. And when I say live, you'll see numbers moving around. This is tapping into their exchange and pulling the numbers in so that you can see them. But before we go there, let's take a look at this chart. This is a Bitcoin chart. Now, I don't teach how to read charts and all these candlesticks and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, we do a little light run through just so that you kind of get the thrust of it. But this is what's called a day chart where every single candle represents a day of market activity. And you can see, going back to November, I mean, at the end of last year, the market's kind of been going the wrong way, right? Okay, it started way up here. It was up around 60 in the mid 60s. That's Bitcoin. And it's just been going down, been going down, it's been going down. And you know what? It's been during this entire period that we've been doing the plan. We've been marketing the plan, we've been promoting the plan, we've got tens of thousands of people all around the world, and the market just keeps going down, keeps going down, and keeps going down, and people keep doing the plan, they keep doing the plan. Why would that be the case? All right? It's because they see the logic of having a plan and how this thing works and how the wiggle works and how you wait and all that kind of stuff. Okay, we know what we're doing. And then for a while here, it's been in a sideways market. Remember how I told you that 80% of the time the market goes in a sideways market? Well, look at this. It's been going up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. It goes up and it goes down. No big deal. That's what this thing does. Okay? It'd be like you don't ask a wiggle worm not to wiggle. That's what it does. This is what crypto does. It wiggles all over the place. Okay? But we're tapping that. We're making money off of it. Now, this loss, if you were to measure it, or this drop in market, is pretty significant. If I were to measure it, my measurement tool, there we go. We're down right now about 45% down. It's been as far as 50% down. So every account that I show you, if they were doing regular trading, they would be 40 to 45 to 50% down. But you're going to see something different when we go into this. Let's take a look. Account number one, let's look at it. This individual has 3 bots running, okay? They have made $3,000 off of an investment of $51,000. By the way, you're going to see all kinds of numbers here, but you can start this with just a few thousand. You don't have to have 50,000. The reason many of these people have so much invested is because it's working for them, okay? But you can start lower, okay? But this person in a period of 2 months or less has made 3,000. Now everything's here. In this column, you can see how many months a particular automation has been running. Each line here is an automation. There are 3 automations that are running, okay? The person has a little over 51,000 invested. They have made $3,017 cash in their pocket. It's theirs to spend. And if this person were to close everything down right now, tide's up. Even though the market is 45% down, this person is 3.36% up. How could that be? All right. Well, that can happen. Okay. And it's all over. But this number doesn't mean much. This person wouldn't close the account down just because it's up. Why? Because they're making their money instantly, minute after minute, from this column. See, we don't have to wait. Most traders, here's what they do. They plot their money in, they cross their fingers, and then hope it goes up. And they don't have any money while they're waiting. All right. Ours, we start the automation. We don't care if it goes up or down. And minute after minute, it starts spitting out nickels and dimes and quarters, and we can spend it right away. And the reason we don't stop these automations, you're going to see some automations here that have been running for 6 months, for 8 months. They've been running for a long time. This one is 2 months. It's because you don't need to stop them. If you stop it, nothing happens except you have to start another one up. I mean, so you just let it go. That's different than what everybody else is doing. We just let these things go because we're making our money. Why close it? Okay. Why would I take a vending machine out of a restaurant and hide it in my garage if I could just leave it there? That's the whole point here. We just leave the vending machine running. Let's look at another account. I'm going to go through these fast because there's so many of them. Okay. This person has $17,400 invested. They've already made $5,625, a 26% return, cash in their pocket. And if I scroll down here, you can see they've been doing it for 9 months. They set up another one 28 days ago. This one they set up 27 days ago. This one was 10 days ago. This one was 9 days ago. If they were to shut everything down, they would lose. They would be down $3,717, okay? But they're not going to shut it down. That doesn't make sense. They're at the stoplight and they're getting paid. Let's look at another one. This person has $52,000 invested. They've made $14,000 in their pocket. If they were to shut everything down, this looks awful, right? If they were to shut everything down, they would be $22,000 below. But you know what is going on in this person's mind? Because they're thinking smart, they're colorblind. In their mind, they're thinking, this has been the best DCA I've ever experienced. I've been buying inch by inch as this thing goes down. And I know I'm just at a stoplight right now. And if you've ever been at the stoplight, what always happens? Turns green. You get on your way. All right. That's what's going to happen. This tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month. I mean, whenever, it's going to turn green. And holy hallelujah when that happens. But in the interim, they're making wiggle. Let's look at the next one. This person has $38,000 invested. They've made $25,000 in their pocket already. And theirs is down. If they were to shut everything down, it's down $27,824. Again, I want to go faster. I think you get the idea now. This person has $85,000 invested. They've already made over $16,000. If they were to shut it down, they're underwater, but they're not. This person has $47,000 invested. They've made $34,894 cash in their pocket. If they were to shut it down today, they'd be a negative $3,151, but they're not. They're at the red light. They're just waiting. This person has made they have $16,000 invested. They've made $9,558. They're at the red light waiting. It's underwater. They're $14,500 down. This person has 82,000 invested. They've made $40,000 profit. Holy cow. All right. They've been doing this. I'm not scrolling down on all of these. It's just, there's a lot to show here, but you can see they've been doing it for 6 months, for 5 months. Okay. They're running a lot of automations. Let's take a look at the next one. This person has 21,000 invested. They've already made 3,631. They are, it's low tide for them. Okay. Let's look at the next one. This person has 14,000 invested. They've already made $9,656. If they were to shut the account down right now, it is down $11,000. This person has 8,800 invested. They've made $2,487. Their account also is down if they were to shut everything down. They're at the red light waiting. This person has $17,000 invested. They've made $5,633 cash in their pocket. They're waiting as well. This person has $11,375 invested. They've made $2,388 cash in their pocket. Their account is down a little over $3,000. This person has 7,800 invested. They've made $1,526. Their account is down 2,200 and some change. This person has $5,382 invested. They've made $349. By the way, they're running 2 automations. They started them less than a month ago. In a bad market, they've already made $349 that they can spend, and they're just waiting, which is part of the game here. You got to understand this part and you'll get it. All right, let's look at the next one. This one, they only have 1 bot running, okay? This is an interesting one. They have 1 automation running. Look at this, it's been running for 9 months, all right? And they have $8,000 invested. They have made $4,378. And if they were to shut everything down, they are up 100%. I mean, how do you get up 100% when the market is down 45%? Well, you can do that, okay? And then, hold on here. I think there's more. I've got to hide this. Hide the, maybe this will do it. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that is the last one. Okay, very good. Okay, so you have seen every account of all of the members that gave me permission from the very, very beginning. Let's go back and let's see if this is something that you could do. Okay, first of all, let me get rid of this. There we go. And we're going to talk about how to get started. But before we get into that, I'm going to reveal secret number 5. This is my favorite secret. It's by Zig Ziglar, if you remember him. If you wait until all the lights are green before you leave home, you'll never get started on your trip to the top. I heard this, gosh, I was young when I heard Zig Ziglar say this, and it has helped direct my life for decades. And you got to think about it, but it's like, you know, if you needed to go downtown, if you just kept waiting until you knew that every stoplight was green, you'd never leave your house. You just sit there because they're never all green. And that's what's happening with perhaps you, but with a lot of people who are thinking about crypto. They keep waiting for all the lights to be green so they can jump in, all right? That's not going to happen. And in fact, now you know the secret. It's when all the lights are red. Yeah, red. That's the best time to get going, not when they're green. That's FOMO. That's when you get in trouble. When everything else is just going, you're thinking, God, I'm missing out, fear of missing out. And you jump in, you're jumping in once the price is going to the moon. And that's not the way you make money. The way you make money is you jump in when all the lights are red. That's exactly where we are, folks. All the lights are red, but if you wait until all the lights are green, you'll never get started on your trip to the top. What is available for you today is what I call phase 1, grid by gold and advanced hodling. I will lay out my famous do nothing strategy, and you will do a lot of nothing. And I will show you a $1 million plan. And I don't say that lightly because it has made millions for me and others. And I'm just going to show it to you. It works, okay? You're going to lose some money along the way, but you're going to make more than you lose if you play this out. That's been my experience, And that's what I teach. I have this recorded professionally in little modules that makes it very easy for you to learn. Okay, it's really, really done high scale. There are 6 intensive sessions, but you're not even going to realize that because they're in these little modules. So you can just pace yourself as you go along the way. Also, you're going to have the coin pair choices or settings. We'll hand them to you. I'm going to have Jason come on in just a moment. We're going to talk about something that we've just started doing. You'll like that. This is as low risk as you can find, but yet still benefit from high reward. And I mentioned this before about our support. It's extreme support. We answer fast, we read your emails, and we really care about our audience. That's why we've become the #1 crypto training course on the planet. Is this for beginners or pros? Well, it's for both, but if you're a beginner, you got a bit of an advantage. And the reason is because if you're a beginner, you're coming with a blank slate. In other words, your mind is open, you're ready for learning how to map this out and do this thing right. I'm going to show you the yellow brick road, and you'll just lay it out brick by brick. Now, if you're a pro or if you've been doing crypto, that's fine, but you may want to follow this recommendation. I suggest that you take all the stuff that you've learned thus far and just set it aside. A lot of it's probably good stuff, but just set it aside and give me a blank slate and let me show you a different way of doing this. And then after you've done it a little while, maybe you can pick and choose some things that you learned from other sources and kind of mingle it in, and maybe it'll work, okay? But what I'm saying is that this is totally different. You're not going to find this out there on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or something like that. It's not out there, okay? And a blank slate will give you a big advantage. Now, I don't just teach just these automations and just these strategies that we've been showing here, okay? I teach other things as well. So I want to pull back the curtain a little bit so that you can see that this isn't like a one-stop bus where you just learn one thing and then, hey, good luck with everything else. Because we all know that there's NFTs out there, and there's liquidity pools, and there's the decentralized finance. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It is really exciting. But you got to start somewhere. And what I'm doing is showing you how to get cash flow first. Once you got that part down, then we can gradually move forward. I have other trainings. They do cost extra. They are totally optional. I just want to show them to you so you know they're there, but we're going to come back and talk about only phase 1, which is what is available for you today. But let's take a look at what else will be available. The first extra thing that you could get involved with is DeFi Secrets and Mega Returns, where I show you how to take the profits that you're getting from phase 1. I'm going to show you how to peel those profits off and stick them away in protocols where you can earn 15, 18, 20% on your money. It's like putting in a bank, you do absolutely nothing. You get these incredible returns, but yet with an extraordinarily high level of safety, okay? I show you how to navigate in the decentralized web and set up the decentralized wallets and all that kind of stuff and do it safely. This here can be a money pit if you don't know what you're doing. And boy, have I ever lost a lot of money doing this decentralized stuff. But let me lose the money and then show you the oases that are out there. There aren't many, but I found them. I'll show them to you. That's phase 2. Phase 3 is something that nobody teaches, and it is crypto rebalancing, whereby you will learn how you can own swaths of the crypto space. I own the best of the best coins in all of the categories of crypto. There's sports, and there's infrastructure, and there's Oracle coins. And I mean, it's just all over. Coins that have to do with medicine, and coins that have to do with art and music and all of this. Rather than trying to pick the ones that may become moonshots, why not just own the best of the best and let an automation rebalance this out for you while you live life? That's what I show people in phase 3. It's incredible. Phase 4, we revisit the automations again. In other words, everything I'm teaching you right now in phase 1, we're going to let you do that for a couple of months, and then we're going to come back in phase 4, and I'm going to take you to master level strategies. Okay, that's a blowaway. Now, here's the good thing. All those accounts that I showed you earlier, you're thinking, well, now I know why they're doing the money they're making. It's because they've probably already gone through phase 4. That's not true. We just released phase 4 this week. Just released it this week. So the accounts that you saw are people that are still doing all the stuff that they've learned in phase 1. And then we just keep going. Yes, NFTs, liquidity pools, DAOs, all the stuff that's out there. You're going to be at a safe spot. And I'm going to go out there and kick all the tires and come back and just show you the Lambos, okay? And you won't end up in a ditch, okay? That's the plan that we have mapped out. But that's all in the future. Let's see what it would be like to get started. And one of the most critical things in doing this is knowing which coins to do. We've just added a new feature that we're including. I'm going to have Jason come back in. He'll talk a little bit about this, and then I'll join you again. We'll wrap up and open it up for your questions. So Jason?
Thank you so much, Dan. So here's what we have for you today. When you go to sign up, you're going to get the URL in a hot minute here to go and get started with the plan, as 20,000-ish people in 130 countries already have done since the less than the year that this has been available. Now, as the publisher, we get to see all customer communication when they're writing into the support desk, as they're going through the journey. The number one thing everybody has begged us for is, hey, listen, Dan teaches a simple and easy to follow rule set to find these ways to set up these automations. Could you just give us the automations? And now we can. It will not be mentioned, because this is an exclusive deal for you. It will not be mentioned when you go and sign up on that page. But nonetheless, when you do sign up, you're going to get this exclusive bonus. So when I set up an automation, any of the automations, you saw like about 100 of them today when Dan was showing you our beta 1 students, his own. They just really require a few settings. They require what coin pair you want to run the automation on, the range of your grid, and the wiggle rate that you want to capture profits in. Now, very important that even though those are simple numbers, most people who try to do this on their own, they can't do it. They need Dan's rules. That's his secret formula. And even better is because it is a rule set game, we can and we will provide automations for you to test in demo mode. You can run these in demo mode in the software that we're going to show you how to use. And then if you like them, you do your own research and you want to go live with them, you're more than welcome to. So this is the exclusive, a special bonus that we're going to give for you today, is essentially in addition to teaching you how to fish, we're also going to hand the fish to you. So Dan, can you break down some of the details of exactly what this exclusive bonus entails?
Okay, thanks so much, Jason. Yeah, it's real simple. We basically give you the 7 key data points to enter into the software. All of this is researched and back tested by our research team, including myself and Tony, my trading partner. This works across multiple exchanges. There are well over 25 exchanges all around the world. All of the big boys are out there. And everything is really copy-paste ready. It couldn't be easier. Now, in the training, I will also show you how to do this yourself. A lot of people like doing it. It's fun. It takes about 20 minutes to research and find these coin pairs that you can put into the automations in order to earn wiggle. But if you're wanting to do it the lazy man's way, then this is a great bonus, because then you can just log into the member area, you get all the numbers, you don't have to do any of the research, and you know that it's been back tested by people that know what they're doing. So that's available for you guys. And something else is as well. Myself, along with my team, we wrote a book.
That's 2 months,
okay.
Right? They get 2 months of that bonus.
Oh, yeah, 2 months of the bonus. My team and myself, we wrote a book. It's called One Coin, Two Coin, What Coin, Bitcoin. Great little book. And it's a bestseller over on Amazon. We're going to give this to you as well. Now, this is not the plan. It's like the prequel to the plan. And it's very helpful, especially if you're new to crypto. It'll help you in learning how to onboard your money into crypto and how to get it in the right place so that it's ready for the plan. It's just really, it's about 100 pages, and it's a very, very good read. It's written to make it seem like child's play, but it is an adult book. It's illustrated by an illustrator from the New Yorker magazine. I think you'll enjoy it. Who is it? Who are my partners? You know these people. This is Elaine. This is Daniel, my first 2 students, as well as myself. And we got together, we put together this book. You'll be able to download that straight away in the member area. So that is there. Now, how much will you have to invest in yourself to do this? $3,497. If you need a little wiggle room, pardon the pun, You can take our installment plan where it's $997 for payments. Some people have told me that they went that route, and then they would let the wiggle itself help cover the future payments, and that can work out. But $3,497 is what you invest. You will get our support. You will get all of the training. You're basically full-fledged in the plan. You get the settings that Jason was talking about. There's no waiting. It's ready for you right now. This is high-end, our member area. I'll show you little snippets in just a moment. It's a place that you will have available, accessible for life, and it's really a good thing. I do want to mention a couple of things so that you feel secure in what you're investing in. First of all, in addition to paying to learn how to do this, you will need capital in order to have that work for you in the automations. But at all times, 100% of your investment, your crypto, will remain in your control exclusively. It will be in your exchange, and you can withdraw this, you can pause this, you can do anything you want. It's your money, it's your crypto, and it's going to be your exchange. I don't have access to it. No one on my team has access to it. So this is something where you are in the driver's seat. I'm just going to show you how to drive. That's it. Okay. It doesn't require that you have any trading skills. Okay. That's not important. So you're not going to have to spend any time there, but you will have to be patient at times. You will have to understand how to follow rules, such as when to stop at the red lights and wait and do the things you need to do there. Okay. Other than that, you're already ready to go if you join the plan. There will be software that you'll use, and this software runs between $69 a month on up to $150 a month. It's not our software, it's a third-party software, and that's how much the subscription was the last time we checked. Now, I want to give you a warning about the software. Some people get a little too clever, and they think that if they can go out and just find some software that'll do this stuff that I'm talking about, that they're going to be good to go. They don't need the course. Well, let me show you why that's kind of a, crazy idea. Let's say you were taking a course from Stephen King, the author, and he was going to show you how to write a best-selling book. And then all of a sudden, you figured out that he's using Microsoft Word. Do you think that you could scoot out, just get Microsoft Word, and then just write a best-selling book? You see how silly it is? The software doesn't do the job. The software is a tool. And just as Stephen King could show you tips and ideas, maybe a formula for writing a best-selling book, so can I in the world of crypto. I can hand you the formulas that myself and Tony developed over a period of 3 or 4 years. And these are the formulas that actually work. I lost money for the first 6 months on the software. So you can't just boot this up and enter in whatever or find something on YouTube and think that that's going to be a home run. It's almost a guaranteed loser if you do that. So be aware of that. I just say that because there's always, 1 or 2 people that run down that road. When you start, you're going to start in what is called demo mode. And that's a beautiful thing, because what that means is that you're going to be able to get in there and practice these strategies and these ideas using play money. Meaning you can't lose anything. It is 100% risk-free when you're doing this with play money. And it may take a week, it may take 2 weeks, it may take 2 months, I don't know. But at some point, you're going to start getting comfortable with this. And then you can make a decision, your own decision, to put your money in and do this. But it will be after you've learned the plan and after you've tried it using play money so that you're comfortable moving forward. That is really, really key. Now, to join the plan, the URL is there at the bottom of the screen, but this particular slide may be the most important. I've talked a little bit about the yellow brick road and going to Emerald City. This is it. This right here is that yellow brick road. You may want to let me run through it all and at the end take a screenshot so that you've got those first few bricks on your way to Emerald City. Step number 1 is you're going to join the course. We will send you an agreement. You'll sign that. It's an NDA. You'll read that. If it's okay, send it back, and then we will guarantee you a seat. Now, if you don't like the agreement or whatever, that's fine. Just let us know, and we will send you 100% of your money back at that point. Now, once you're on board, you're on board. There's not a refund at that point. You'll log into the member area, and I suggest you make a beeline to our companion guide or getting started guide. It's all built into our member area. You'll see it right there, as well as get the book. You know, go and get the book, the 1 coin, 2 coin, what coin, Bitcoin, and read through that. Then you're going to pick an exchange. You're going to onboard your investment capital. If you're already in crypto, fine. We'll help you with that as well, so that you're ready to go with the plan. Then you're going to use the link that is in the guide in order to subscribe to the automation software, and you're going to connect that software to your exchange, whatever exchange you pick, and that's just through a couple of little copy paste. And then you're going to watch the recordings that are in the member area. Brick by brick, we're starting this yellow brick road. If you need help, we're there. I mean, you're going to be blown away. Okay, I won't disappoint you there. So we're there to help you, and we will give you prompt, intelligent answers to the questions as you go along. You're going to set up initially using play money as you hear me talk about the things that you will do in order to map out your own plan. You'll be able to do that in demo mode, and you can use the coin pair research that Jason was talking about in order to pick your coins in demo mode, or you can do it the old-fashioned way where you spend 15 minutes or so and do your own research. I'll show you how to do that as well. When you're comfortable, then you're going to move into real money. Okay, this will be at a time you're comfortable and you will invest. You'll put your capital to work. The minimal that can be put into a bot and have it be effective is 3,000. Now, this is not something that, you know, just I've randomly, you know, come up with. It's over a period of time and testing formulas and all the stuff that we've done to reach this thing that we call the plan. 3,000 is kind of the sweet spot. Now you can put more in, you can have multiple bots, but 3,000 is it. And you know, there's some people that have tried less. Hey, it will work, but you won't, it'll work in the sense that it'll be operational, but you won't get the kind of results that I know you're looking for. Now, the next thing is you're going to set your goals. You're going to follow the plan. You're going to ignore the skeptics and the FUD. And by the way, some of the skeptics are going to be your closest friends, your relatives, your spouse. If there's anybody in your life that you've got to get this past, have them take a look at this video, okay? I'm not here to trick anybody, believe me. I mean, if you want to do this, I'll help you. If it's not right for you, then good luck, okay? But you know, share it with whoever's important in your life so that they can understand the steps that you're about to do. Once this gets going, you're going to want to snowball results. That's what most people do, and move along. But soon enough, you're going to be in that sweet spot, and that is when you'll be doing nothing. Print this and put it on your desk and leave it on your desk until you've made it through all of these steps, okay? And you need to do it pretty quickly because we only open up and offer this periodic, you know, every few months or so, okay? We haven't been open for several months. And the reason is because we love to have people come in and then we focus on helping our new members rather than just marketing. I mean, that's fine and everything, but our way of doing this is we open up the doors, have people come in, we show you how to do it, and we focus our attention on you, our new member, and we don't just keep selling, okay? And then we'll open up again in the future. So there's a limited period of time to join the plan, theplan.vip/join. Now, here's a little sneak peek into our member area. You can see everything's laid out really, really clear in modules. We have high-end professional videos that are done. And here are, you know these people. They're all there to help you. And you'll be able to enjoy this as you move through. If you have questions, support@rapid.crush. That is our help desk. And so it goes. Now, let me break down everything necessary to get going. I know there's how many people want to do something? Okay, raise your hand. Yeah, okay, I hear you. Okay, good. Here's what you do. $3,497 will get you the training, okay, or the installment plan. Then later, you don't have to do it now. Later, go into the member area. You'll get the special link, and you can get the software. That'll run you $69 a month. That's all you can do up to, I think, 5 automations And then later, if you want to do more, you can upgrade. But $69 a month is going to do you good. Investment capital, that's going to be extra money that goes to work for you. Now, you're not buying a bot. You're not spending $3,000 to buy a bot. The $3,000 is the money that is going to sit in your exchange. It's your money, and it's going to be used to make the wiggle. When you're done, you'll be able to close the bot down, and you'll still have investment capital left, okay? And hopefully it'll be more. You'll have the investment capital, and you will also have the money that you have made from the wiggle all along the way. That's it, folks. It's waiting for you right now. So here's my recommendation. If you think that it's time for a plan, then maybe, just maybe, it's time for the plan. That's it. I'm going to pass it back over to Jason. We're going to open it up for your questions. Thank you for spending some time with me, and I'll see you in the member area.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dan. And yes, we're going to be here answering questions pretty much as long as you have them and as long as it makes sense. Just go ahead and put your questions in if you haven't. If you have, give us a little bit of chance to get through them all, because it can get a little crazy with so many people on here. And well, specifically that coin pair research bonus, you get that for 2 months. You get 2 months of full picks from Dan's research team that follows the exact same system we lay out for you. And then if you want to continue on, it's $300 a month. Of course, you could do nothing, and then you don't ever have to pay another dime for it again. That's an extra special bonus when you go to the plan.vip/join and you get started there. It will not be mentioned on that page. So you do not have to worry about that. Just know if you get in before the countdown timer hits 0, you will be styling and you will be profiling. All right, the plan.vip/join. So let's kick off with some of the questions specifically here. And a lot of the questions that have been coming in, kind of theming these questions out. One of the big questions that I was getting right away, and this maybe speaks to some of the situations some of us find ourselves in the economy, is what if I don't have the capital to invest in the bots? Perhaps I have a limited amount of capital to start with, and that capital will be allocated initially to the plan itself. So you sign up for the plan, even on the payment plan, maybe that's all you have to give it a go. What should you do that? Let's be very clear. Is that something that you should or shouldn't do? And in the past, when we did this, because we've done, so many of these trainings now off and on since we've been started for a year. At first, our position was maybe, and then we would go through this very complicated sort of breakdown of, well, it depends on your situation, the context, personality, so on and so forth. But then what we discovered one day is a lot of our members who started, who were like, I know I want this. This makes sense. I'm in. And then I'll, collect the capital later to put it in the automations. What they did immediately was start in demo mode. So in this software, with one toggle of a button, you can switch between live money and demo money. Now, you will get about $1 million in this pretend demo money in which you can test out your automations. And then we highly recommend that you do that for every single thing that you run through the plan. You started in demo mode. And so while you are accruing the capital to put actual real money through these automations, think of what you're actually doing. You're learning how to follow the plan by running it through demo mode first, because the reality of it is this: we are open right now. When you go to the URL that you see on your screen, the plan.vip/join, you will see a countdown timer. And that countdown timer, when it hits 0, it's not a suggestion, it's an actual reality. It will specifically stop that page from functioning. If you hit any join now button on there, any add to cart button on there, you will not go forward, because we get everybody on the bus and then we go through it together. We do have 50 plus support agents at this point in time, but we want to make sure no matter how many we have, they're all focused and pointed at and dedicated to those who say yes before the countdown expires. And so you don't want to be left out where next month you say, hey, listen, I got some capital to play with, but I can't get into the plan. Because I wouldn't want you to run these bots on your own. You need the formula that Dan is going to give you. It's a simple formula, but it's the best formula. And it's the only way that I would feel comfortable having a family member or a friend follow this. So you would need that in advance. But here's what's interesting. Now that we have so many customers in so many countries, what we discovered is many people who said, I don't know if I have the capital yet to run these automations. Once they started in demo mode and saw that they were making so much pretend wiggle money, they realized very quickly, I'm losing money. And how are you losing money? You are losing money because every day you're not in the market with real money is a day where that return just passed you by. That actual locked in bot profit just passed you by. All right. Here's a great question. After purchasing the plan, when is the training schedule to begin? That's a fantastic question. It's one of my favorite questions to answer now. So, quick history lesson. When we started the plan, we started in beta mode because this is how our philosophy is as a publisher here at rapidcrush.com. Let's test small and then scale large. And so we took in a group of folks, a small group of folks, and Dan did the sessions live. And we ran all the sessions through live at the time, and we auditioned material. We didn't beautify it yet. It was pretty plain Jane. It was like in a brown paper bag slid across the table. What was inside the brown paper bag was amazing. But Dan did it kind of just in time. We did this session and did that one, and then that one. And we baited it 3 times. So we ran 3 full classes through and made optimizations each time. And so now we have the final polished, perfected version of that. So what does that mean? That means as soon as you get access to the members area, you get access to the whole shebang, my friend. You get all of the plan today, phase 1, and any updates in the future. Those are yours too, for free in perpetuity for as long as there's a members area that you can access. Now, let's be very clear with each other. When I say access the members area, what I mean by that is it's not instantaneous. When you sign up today, when you go to the plan.vip/join, as soon as that investment is completed and you get to the thank you page, that doesn't automatically give you a username and password. And here's why. The first thing that happens is we have to issue you a user agreement and a non-disclosure agreement. That's not an automated process. That's a manual process because we have to put your name in there and then send it over to you, right? Then you review that. And if it's to your liking, sign it. And then you sign it, it brings it back to us. And then we validate it to make sure it matches and everything makes sense. And then we send you your credentials to access and log into the members area. So I just want to be very clear about that. Generally, that process is like a 48-hour process from when you get everything done on your end, all right? So 48 hours, you get the for the NDA or less, depending, give us that we like to err on the side of too much as opposed to too little. And then 48 hours after you return it, then you get access, all right? Hopefully that makes sense. And if not, we'll be happy to answer it again. But as soon as you get access to the members area, you get everything pretty much. The only exception to that is the coin pair research. We don't automatically hand that over to you instantaneously. We give that to you a little bit later so you're ready to use the full 2 months free access that you're going to get to that, right? Now, what about taxes? And I know taxes are on some of your minds because it's May 3rd, at least when I'm doing this webinar right here, right now. So that means for a lot of you, especially US folks, at least I'm speaking to, but probably all of you, you paid taxes recently, or you had to deal with the deadline for taxes recently. So the good news is you don't have to do that again for quite a while. The good news, in addition to that, is that the exchanges that you use, they keep full records of all of the transactions that accrue over the period of time that you are trading these automations. So it's not like the old days where we had to show a record of something by finding a receipt somewhere, unrolling it, handing it over to our tax specialist, and then having them manually input it. It's cool that all of this is digital. Cooler still is we've had a full cycle of folks that have had to do crypto taxes at this point in time through the plan. And so we've pointed out resources for them. We've brought it to them. Arguably the top crypto tax specialist in the world. She is a member of the plan. And so we have a lot of different resources that will help you for that. Because on the broad strokes is this. Generally, if you make money, you pay taxes on it. And the more money you make, the more taxes you pay on that. So the only way to avoid paying taxes is essentially don't make any money. So I want you to come to a year where you pay the most taxes you've ever paid in your life, because that means you've made the most money you've ever made in your life. But step one is let's make the money first. And then when the time comes to deal with the taxes, we can help you by pointing you into the right resources. Of course, we can't give you that kind of advice. We're not professional. We're not licensed. We're not insane like that, because it's definitely different depending on where you're located at. But we have resources in place that we can very easily point you to. It's not the boogeyman that you think it is. Boy, I would hate for that to cheat you out of the opportunity of something big like that. Okay. All right. How long will I have to purchase the plan? That's a great question. Answer is when you go to the plan.vip/join, it will tell you exactly countdown to 0 when you have that. I say this, in the way that I say this is because on the replay, if you're on the replay watching this, it'll be a different time than what it is right now at May 3rd, 3:46 p.m. Pacific time, right? If there's thousands of buying and selling orders, isn't there buy and sell fees associated with each trade? You betcha. There absolutely is. These exchanges are not doing this for free. What's awesome about this is everything that Dan showed you today, his own trades, those of all of our beta students that we showed you today, that was net. That was after the fees were taken out, right? Everything is accounted for. You will see it. This is why we love blockchain. This is why we love ledgers. It's not like the old days where stuff can be hidden and buried and then, paved over with a new freeway. Everything is in there. And so I can see every single trade I make, exactly how much I pay in fees and what's mine as a return in profit. So what Dan showed you in terms of the bot profit was after all fees. Every single last fee was accounted for. So when you saw, hey, like this thing is making a 0.1, like a 1% return per day just on the bot profit alone, that is after fees are accounted for. So everything you saw today was after fees. Yes, there are fees involved. They're very small. They're reasonable, and you'll be happy to pay them because you're paying them. So if you make 30 cents 1,000 times a day, and out of 30 cents, you got to give like a nickel back to the exchange. Yeah, you still netted a quarter per trade, and you did that like 1,000 times a day. That would be awesome. I hope that happens to you. What would happen if everyone did the plan? Oh my God. Well, the world would be a better place. I'll tell you that right now. But the second part of that question is really what they're asking is too many people would do the same trades. No, they actually wouldn't. First of all, the amount of people that we could reach, and we're trying to reach as many as we possibly can, because if you have something that is so helpful to so many people, you want to help them. At least I do. At least that's the whole philosophy of us at Rapid Crush as the publisher. But the idea here is we don't just all pick the same coins. Dan gives us a rule set, and based on time, based on context, based on a couple of factors, not a lot of them, you're going to pick different coins than me. And even when you pick them, it will be different. But here's the reality. And this is an important lesson for you to learn in this space, no matter what. There is more transparency in the crypto market than any other financial institution. And what I mean by that is every single kind of transaction that's occurring, say in Bitcoin, you know the wallets that hold them. You might not know the identities of the wallet holders, but you know how many wallets hold what percentage of the total market. And these are called whales. These are the few wallets that hold a majority of the crypto. And there's only a few of them, and they hold a lot of them. So if the rest of us all got together and tried to do that, that's like bringing a tablespoon of salt to the ocean to try to salt the ocean even further. Or I should say sugar it, because it's already salted water. We're going to sweeten that water. We're going to bring in a teaspoon. We're going to try to dump it. We can't, right? Now, this is different than the context in which some of you I know from the people that sent you to this webinar who sent you. They typically teach business advice. So if they were teaching you how to start an Amazon business, yeah, if everybody sold the same, spatula, then that's going to eat and cannibalize the market. But that's not how the plan works. We work off of the fact that people are buying and selling all day long without a plan, and they don't know what they're doing. They have no rule sets. And so Dan brings a little bit of sobriety to the market, a little bit of sanity to the market. And so no matter how many people we get, and we've gotten a lot of people now, when you look at the market caps of these coins, we don't even scratch the surface of it. But it is a valid point because you want something that you can rely upon, right? And that's what this is. This isn't some hot YouTube tip that gets 10 million views. If I was worried about anything messing around with it, I'd be worrying about that. And so we're more than happy. And in fact, the more people we get in the plan, the better it is, because the more we are able to support all kinds of different situations from all kinds of different folks all over the world. How much do we need to invest in the plan, time and money? It's a fantastic question. So Dan has on the screen for you right now, your total investment, and everything is transparently laid out to you there. So you give us $34.97. By the way, that's how we make our money. Unlike all these other financial institutions out there that are going to take a percentage of your profits and this and that, that's real expensive real quick. We're an education company. So you invest $34.97 or you invest 4 installments in $9.97. That's ours. That's it. And believe it or not, when it all comes down to it, it is not a whole lot. That's why we have additional phases later on. Automation software, the software that Dan will recommend you use, has a price of $69 a month. Now, there's a trial. You can do this for a certain period of time in trial mode before you have to actually sign up for the software, but it's not ours. We don't control it. It's a third-party software, and you would pay that software service provider. Now, if you want to run more than 5 automations, then there is a higher price level, a pro level. I think it's $150 as of today. It may increase in the future. I don't know. And then you need to put your own capital into the market. The bare minimum capital required to do this properly is $3,000. Now, you might screw around on your own and find ways to start bots with less than $3,000. I've seen people start bots with $50 before, right? But here's a problem with that. Think of that analogy Dan told you earlier about the spider web. If a spider was weaving a web to catch some flies, but there was gigantic holes and gaps in that web, and all the flies could just fly through it because it was so obvious and so easy, then you lose. That spider dies of starvation. So similarly here there is a minimum amount of what you need in the way that Dan does this to spread it across around that range to catch as much wiggle profit as possible. And the tipping point is 3,000. And this is US dollars. Of course, you would have to translate this to whatever your local currency is. Now, you can do more than that, but we will not let you do less than that, because then we move away from risk mitigation, lack of risk, into unknown territory. This is the safest way to do it. And so this is why we stipulate, we require, and we let you know. Now, here's what's cool about that. That's fully liquid. At any point in time, for any reason whatsoever, if you want to stop that automation, you can unlock whatever capital is available in that. So if you run an automation for 3,000 and then 5 minutes later you change your mind and you want to run a different automation, you could close all that and access all that capital. Well, what's left of it, right? I don't know what happened during that trading in that 5 minutes. There's a couple of fees involved in there, of course, but you could shift that into a different automation instantaneously. In fact, in certain periods of time when you're working with a limited capital set initially, you are probably more likely to run one automation and then turn it into another automation. And over time, though, what you do is you typically just let these automations run for themselves. But nonetheless, that's what it's going to take. Now, here's a good question. Is there any full refund policy if I'm not happy and don't like the program? No, there is not. And there's a very, very specific reason for that. And it's probably not the reason you think. Now, first of all, there is a time when you could get your money back. When you go to the plan.vip/join and you sign up, you are going to get a user agreement and you're going to get a non-disclosure agreement. I want you to fully read that. If you need anybody professional or otherwise to overlook it and read it as well, go for it. If after reading the user agreement and the NDA, you don't like it, you say, nope, not for me. And then we will give you your money back if that's what you wish for. It happens in, last I checked the statistic, it was like less than 1%. I know that for a fact. I don't know exactly what it is now, but I'd be surprised if it's not something similar to that. That's the only time. But once you sign, you're in, and you're in it to win it at that point in time. Now, here's the reason for that. When we were in beta mode, I talked to you a little bit about that earlier here. When we were in beta mode, we said to them, hey, listen, everything is final because we don't have a professional members area like we do now back then. We don't have the polish in the organization and structure, and we didn't have the supplemental guides and the fly on the wall sessions that Dan does now and all the updates and this and that. So we're looking for early adopters only who don't care about whether it's fancy or not. They just want the information. But what we discovered is when the folks who showed up after they signed up with that, with no undo button, they came in with a whole different attitude. And their success and their focus and the experience we had with them was night and day to previous programs where we had a no questions asked money back guarantee. And so when we saw that and we saw the response and the experience, we said this is probably in the best interest of those who will become our students to continue this way. And that's what we do. And if that scares you too much, it's perfectly okay if you say, nope, not for me. I get it. But absolutely, have we a track record of success with those who have come in? Yes. Is everything we're saying you're going to get? Absolutely. So if you believe that, the plan.vip/join That's where you want to go. Now, Will, I'm going to bring on my business partner here at rapidcrush.com or Rapid Crush Inc. I can tell you got something on your mind.
Yeah, I've just seen a few people here ask about whether the event is live or not. It is absolutely live. It's May 3rd at 6:56 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:56 p.m. Pacific Time at the time of this call. And it is also, if you paid really close attention when Dan showed the live results or the live statuses of all the 18 students, it would have been literally impossible to fake that as a recording if this wasn't a live call, because any one of you can go and look at the exact time that was shown and the exact prices of the coin pairs that were shown. So there really is no possibility here, and it leaves no doubt that this is a live event. Now, many of you noticed, and Dan pointed this out, that a lot of the students that were shown, the value of their account is down. And Dan mentioned this. If they were to liquidate, meaning sell all their coins right now, they would lose some money. And that is because the market has been down significantly over the past months. What does that mean? That means that it's not a good idea to sell the coin, but they are still making money in the wiggle. They're still making money in the wiggle. The way I like to think about it is this. Let's say you buy an investment property. You buy a house that you're going to rent out, and you buy that house for $100,000. You rent it out, and let's just say, for ease of numbers, let's say you rent it out for $1,000 a month. Consider that being the wiggle money, okay, that the bots make. That's $1,000 a month in rent. Now, your realtor calls you up and says, "Hey, so and so, your property is now worth $75,000." And what do? Do you panic and say, "Oh my God, I just lost $25,000"? No, you wouldn't lose any money in that transaction unless you decided to sell the house. So you tell your realtor, "Thank you very much for letting me know." You hang up the phone, right? Because you're not going to sell that house. When the markets are significantly up, then what you have is the same situation in reverse. Your realtor calls you and says to you, "Hey, remember that house you paid $100,000 for? It's now worth $150,000. Do you want to sell it?" Now it is up to you if you want to sell that or not and make that $50,000, knowing that you're still earning that rent from that tenant or making money on the wiggle on the bot situation. And you decide, well, I want to cash out and take the money out, or I want to keep making that rent money. That is a decision that you get to make. It's very, very similar concept, not identical, not exact. This is as an analogy to illustrate a point, but it's the same sort of idea. Now, you will also notice, if you looked really close at the charts that were shown on the screen, that in some cases, the value of the coins that those students had invested in had gone down significantly, but the value loss that they encountered was much less than the value that the coin dropped, because the wiggle profits made up some of the difference. Let's say you buy a coin for $1,000, whatever it is, the coin, and it drops down to 500. But you've made 250 in bot profits. Now you've really only lost 25% of the value, while everybody else lost 50% who isn't following the strategy, who was just buying and holding that coin. So this is another way that the bots help mitigate risk. And when the market is down significantly, there is value loss for sure, but you don't lose any money. In fact, you can continue making money off the wiggle while everybody else has lost value and has no other option and is not making any money off the wiggle. And the market works the best for wigglers when it's going sideways, because the market never goes sideways. It goes up and down, and it trends sideways. How do you make money when the market is going down? Because it never goes straight down either. It trends downwards. It goes up and down, and it trends in a downward direction. And same thing when it goes in an upward trajectory. It's in that volatility within that trend those micro fluctuations, that is where the bots make profit. And realize that those profits are immediately available to you in your exchange. They don't get tied up into the bot. They don't get reinvested automatically. Literally, as that bot makes you 25, 35 cents, 45 cents, a dollar, whatever it may make you per transaction, that is immediately available to you. You can do whatever you want with it. So hopefully that got to clarify several of the questions that we had around those current valuations.
Yeah, and
now,
we'll dive into that even more here from different angles. We'll stay on until you get it. That's a promise, right, Will?
Yeah, we will stay here. We have no, I told the family that I have no time to get home from the office today because I figured there'd be a lot of people here wanting questions answered, and so we will. There is one other thing, Jason, I want to cover really quickly before I go back to you, and that is the minimum bot investment that was mentioned earlier. Now, the software will allow you to start a bot with like $100 if you want to, but you should not. And if you follow the plan, you won't, because Dan has figured out through a lot of automations and millions of dollars invested in many, many, many bots, that the sweet spot between risk mitigation and maximum profitability, the real good balance between the two, starts at $3,000. That is a sweet spot. Now, we get nothing out of that $3,000 bot you configure. That is your money. It's your investment. It's plugged into your exchange. You keep access to that. We get no benefit out of that. So when we sit here and tell you that $3,000 is the minimum bot you should consider, and $3,000 is about $3,000 equivalent of whatever the coin is, so we'll just call it $3,000. When we tell you that you should invest at least $3,000 when you start a real bot, it is not in our best interest to tell you that, but it is in your best interest. Would you agree? Type in the chat box yes or no. Would you agree that we would sell more training courses if the investment in bots could start at $50? Would you agree with that? And everybody says yes. So it would be in my best interest as the publisher of this training course to tell you, hey, just you can start with $50. But that isn't the right thing to do, because we want our customers to be more successful. Therefore, we have to tell you that, we don't recommend starting with $50. And if that's going to cancel you out of the game, that's so be it. I'd rather you not spend the money than come in thinking that you're going to invest $50 or $100. Now, what you can do is sign up for the course and save up enough money to be able to invest properly in a bot when you're ready. And in the meantime, run demo bots. The entire course can and should be done with demo bots, because that is how you learn. Demo bots work exactly the same way as real bots do. That's the beauty of the software that Dan has selected and uses to teach this, is that you can run a bot in demo mode and follow the course 100% as if you were investing for real, but you're investing with play money. And in this case, you're learning. There's no chances of making mistakes or no worries about making mistakes. There's no worry about losing any money that you're going to invest. You can feel free to experiment. You can plug in the CoinPair research coins right into demo mode and see what happens. You can start a whole bunch of bots and close them and start some new ones. And you can just feel free to experiment. And then when you're ready to, whether this requires you saving some money to start your new bot, or you already have the money but you're not quite sure when to start it, just after you've run through the demo bots, that's when you start. That's when you decide for yourself when it's the right time for you. So you can watch the videos, the training videos in the members area as many times as you want. You have full-on support. We have overall more than 50 people, including tier 1 and tier 2, more than 50 people supporting the plan. Our response times are going to be incredible. You're going to get the best support. We're going to spoil you on support. Jason, I said that was going to be short and it wasn't, so I'm going to send it back to you, my friend.
Awesome. And remember, we are giving away money here in a little bit, but we want to answer the questions first. The plan.vip/join. What's the difference between the two columns, sum total P&L and sum bot profit? So the P&L is if you were to sell everything today, here's how much you would make or how much you would lose when everything is factored into. And that's kind of fun, right? That's looking at like your stock portfolio and saying, hey, a month ago I was up and then the market crashed, which it did recently, and now I'm down, but you're neither. That's where the value is at currently. It's a snapshot of what would happen if you liquidated the whole thing. Now, the sum bot profit is saying, here's what you've collected. Here's what you've actually made in specifically bot profits. Okay? That's what that means. And that's what's really cool, because that's not value-based. That's not theoretical. That is actual captured profit. So this is why even when the market is down, we're still making profit on a daily basis. Think of that as your dividend if you were, again, to go to the stock analogy. So that's what that is. And we're going to get back into those technical things. Here's one great question, though, which kind of sets up what I was ready to say anyway, which is, hey, how do we know what coins to pick? That's an excellent question because, yeah, that kind of makes a big difference. Did you know there are over 10,000 cryptocurrencies that exist right now? Last I saw, they actually said over 15,000. I don't even know if it's that high. It doesn't seem possible, but it is. I'm pretty sure. I know for a fact it's at least over 10,000. So how do you know which coins to plug into these automations? Well, two ways. Way number one is Dan is going to show you. It's basically a 3-step process. And there's a couple ways to do it, but one of the ways, the most popular ways, is like this 3-step process that he teach, which if you can follow some very basic rules, you will uncover these coins. And then if the market conditions for them are correct, which has nothing to do with the normal market conditions, it's just simply a couple of variables you look at. If it's like yes, 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 then you can put them in and run one of these automations. Now, there's another way that you can find these coins. And this is what we call coin pair research. And it's an exclusive bonus. So when you go and you sign up for the plan, you're going to get 2 months free access to this, which is going to give you about 50 different automations within those 2 months that we release. We release them when the research team looks at the research and says, here's a really good one that would run an automation and meets all of Dan's criteria, and they publish that data. They say, here's the coin pair. As long as the price of that top coin in the pair is within this and this, then you could go at it. This would pass at least the criteria for the plan. So here's what you would do. You would run an automation where you'd set the low price. This is the first thing you would set at this. You would set the high price at this of your grid range, right? And then this is your grid step, which is essentially where you're going to capture your wiggle profit. And then you would churn on trailing up. That's 4 things. Once you know the coin, all you got to do to set up one of these bots is 4 things. So in this instance, you could copy and paste it. Now, as you see below that, here are a list of exchanges where this one would work, okay? Now, this one was released today. Is today May 3rd? I'm pretty sure. Yes, today is May 3rd. Just want to make sure. Sometimes I don't know the date. I just took the most recent one because I logged in and looked at Coin Pair Research. It was published at 10:58 a.m. Pacific. It's on multiple different exchanges. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of it even more than you see here. If you were logged in there, you could see that as well, where the bottom coin in the pair would change. And that's only available on these exchanges or only available on those exchanges. So this one here that was just published today is available on a variety of different exchanges that you could copy and paste, plug in, and go to town with. So this is a bonus that you get in addition to learning the exact rules. And almost everybody like that you saw today, a majority of them they did it themselves. A lot of our customers that have come on since then, I see a nice blend. Some of them do it themselves. Some of them use this to do it. Some of them do half and half. I'm about 90% myself into coin pair research. 9 out of 10 coins that I set up, I do it through the coin pair research because we're pretty busy like supporting and publishing the plan. So I just go into coin pair research and I plug mine in that way. So again, when you go to the plan.vip/join, that's where you're going to get access to 2 months of this. If you want to continue on after that, it's $300 per month. If you do nothing, you just lose access to it. You don't have to, in any circumstance, ever use it for anything. You can use it or not use it, but it's another resource available to empower you. The plan.vip/join, that's where you go to sign up. Sign up before the countdown timer expires, obviously, because afterwards you will not be able to sign up. So let's answer some more questions here. Can I transition current Bitcoin I already have? Yes, you absolutely can. And let me speak to a larger point, if I can, very quickly. A lot of us, or all of us, because this whole concept of cryptocurrency is new, we come from this very stodgy, weird, horse and buggy institution, where if I want to exchange currency from one currency to another, it's very hard to do. It's anything but easy. It's very complicated. So if I want to exchange it from this currency to that currency, there's multiple steps involved. It's a big headache. On these exchanges, especially all the ones that are connected to the plan and to the software that we use, it's really easy to turn one coin into another coin, into another coin, into another coin. The short answer to that is you copy a string of text, basically. That's pretty much about how easy it is. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but barely. So if you have some Bitcoin right now and you want to deploy it in the plan in a different way than the way you're deploying it now, you absolutely can. And that's true for any sort of cryptocurrency you have. Now, if you're on a plan with that cryptocurrency and you want to leave it running the way it is, then you may decide instead to bring in more of your non-crypto money, turn it into crypto, and deploy that into the plan. And we have people that do all of the above. They say, well, listen, I got this coin over here. I don't have a plan for it. So instead, I'm going to put it into automations. And then they didn't have to add any additional capital. Other people are like, I want a clean slate. So I'll let whatever crypto I have continue to do what it's doing. And I can mess with it however I want to mess with it. But then I'm going to bring in new crypto, specifically earmark it and point it at the plan. You're going to find crypto is absolutely revolutionary. And not even for all the reasons some of these memers on YouTube think it is. It's for less obvious reasons than them, but nonetheless, it has turned us into a global currency from a national currency, meaning that all of us from around the world can now transact together frictionlessly in a way that it was impossible for financial institutions of the past to do. And what's great is we're not perfectly into frictionless yet, but every year there's new innovation, there's new improvement, there's new optimization. This isn't like buying Bitcoin in 2014 when you needed an engineering degree in order to figure out how to purchase some of this. This is becoming already easier than ordering a pizza for a lot of people, and it will continue to get better. So what I love about it is in its infancy, it's already running circles around everything else. And if you want to have a plan, not just speculate, but an actual plan, the plan.vip/join is where you want to go. Okay, I think we did explain this, but I'm going to answer this again just for the sake of thoroughness. It says, you still haven't explained how to make money when the market is down. What is the model for making money from wiggles? Okay, so here's how you can make money when the market is down. So traditionally, when the market's down, you could only lose money. In our instance, we have a way to make money or at least break even, quote unquote, when the market goes down. That's because when a market goes down, it goes down a little bit at a time, and then it goes up a little bit. Then it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down. As Will mentioned earlier, it trends downward. But as it trends downward, maybe hundreds or thousands of times a day, the value of that coin has went up. A fraction maybe, but nonetheless. So our automation is set to capture all of those profits when it does go up for that slight period of time as it continues to trend downward. And so if we capture that, we can offset the value loss. So, if we capture 8% in profits on the bot and the coin has dropped 8%, and then we sell the coin, we've broken even. If the coin has dropped 5% and we've captured 10% of wiggle, then we have made profit. I will give you an awesome scenario to understand this. I have had a couple coins. This is not the norm. This is not the most common outcome, but nonetheless, we've seen this where the wiggle profit has exceeded 100%, meaning that we have captured over 100% of our investment in the coin in wiggle profits alone. So guess what? You could give the coin away for free. You could find some homeless man on the street, hand him a USB and say, here, instead of giving you money, I'm going to give you all of this crypto, right? Now, I don't know if they'll know how to use it or not. You could give the damn thing away and you'll still make a net profit, even though you lost 100% of your investment because you threw it away, because the bot made more than 100% in wiggle. And we've seen that before. Usually not the case. But again, if the value goes down and you panic sell, but your wiggle has already in realized profit exceeded whatever the value loss is, that's how you make money. Now, a more important concept there is, what did I just say? Panic sell. So the reason why most people lose money in crypto, there's a couple of reasons. One is they get scammed. Somebody says, hey, give me your crypto stuff and I'll take care of it. Never do that, ever. We will never ask you for any of your crypto information. We will never say, just give us your crypto stuff and we'll take care of it for you. That is the number one way people lose money in crypto. It has nothing to do with the coins they invest in. It has nothing to do with their strategies. They got scammed, okay? But the other reason, the other most common reason is that people tend to get greedy and that costs them, and then they get scared and then that costs them. And they cycle through this fear and this greed and this fear and this greed, and they get beat up on both ends. And I can understand why, though. It's hard to look a 30% loss in the face on paper and have the constitution to say, well, it'll rally around, I don't know when, I'm going to hold steady, right? Even though I'm getting just pummeled. It's hard to do that. Most people can't. And it's hard to force most people to. It's hard to like not eat that cake and eat the veggies instead. You know you should eat the veggies, you eat the cake. I get it. I'm guilty of that as well, right? Here's where the difference is. And I think this makes the difference in the plan. It's easy to withstand a temporary market shift of say, 10 or 20 or 30% when you have cash flow coming in every single day. Now it becomes really easy. That's like saying if somebody could hypnotize you and make your vegetables taste like cake, then you'd have no problem eating your vegetables. And that's kind of what we've done here. It's like, okay, the market goes down, but my tenant is paying me rent on the house. The value of the houses went down, but my tenant every single day keeps putting 5s and 10s and 20s and 50s in my hand. And that's what's so powerful about this. And that's why we are very enthusiastic about getting you in the plan.vip/join. We are not taking gigantic risks here. We are not trying to find 10 baggers that are going to go to the moon with some unknown coin that nobody heard of yesterday that's going to get rug pulled tomorrow. That's insanity. That's for 20-somethings who don't care if the future is dystopian or not, right? They got nothing to lose anyway. That's not what we're doing here. We're talking, we need cash flow, because if I could give you magically $3,000 in your bank account every single month, free and clear, every single month, you had $3,000 just deposited in there, would that be life-changing for you? What I've discovered is for most of the population, an extra $2,000 or $3,000 per month is a game changer. It's the difference between not sleeping at night and sleeping well. It's the difference between not going on a vacation and going on 2 vacations. It's the difference between sharing a vehicle and each person who needs a vehicle having a vehicle. It's the difference between not surviving an emergency situation and saying, we got this. That's the difference. So we get the cash flow, but we also still hold the assets. That coin in that pair, the top coin in the pair, we believe most of these coins are going to go up over time. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next month, but probably in the next year or 2 or 3. I think Bitcoin's going to go up, don't you? I don't know when. Okay. I don't know when. It took forever for it to go up from 1,000 to 20,000. And then it went from 1,000 to 20,000 just like that. But for a long time, it stuck at 1,000. And then it shot up. That's typically how it works. And so I think that's why so many people are seeing success with the plan. What type of access to this plan if you sign up for the payment plan? That's a great question. Same exact type of access. The only difference is you will pay a little bit more because you're financing it over time. But everything is released at the same time. You get all the updates. Whenever the updates release, every experience is exactly the same because we want you in, and we want you in whether it's, you want to take advantage of it all at once or split it up. Doesn't matter to us. We want you in. Will, now I know you got the eye in the chat. I think you have something that you want to point out.
Yeah, maybe you can put this on the screen. I just sent you an image, I think, which will illustrate this. This is an example of, I believe, was one of my bots or one of your bots from a while back.
And, this is my bot. Yep.
Yeah, we took a screenshot. So put that on the screen. I want to kind of walk through that. Yeah, thank you. So this bot was started when this particular coin was at $2.48. When the screenshot was taken, the value of that coin was $1.83, a 27% drop in value. But if you look at the change column, which is it, and the software used to be called change, now it's called value. there's a 52% increase or profit overall if that coin was to be closed at that point in time. Now, how did this happen? Do you see these dots on the screen? Every time there's a green dot on the screen, that is a purchase. And every time there's a red dot on the screen, that is a sell. Every time that you see a red dot, that means profit. Look at how the profits occurred. It occurred every time that it was going trending sideways, every time it was trending upwards, every time it was trending downwards. So if I'm making money as it's going downwards, because it's not a straight line, it's not a straight, smooth line. It's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And every time you get a little bit of up, you sell that coin. And every time you get a little bit of down, you buy a coin. And every time it goes up and down, that is exactly how you make money off of the wiggle, and why after a 27% drop in value, in this particular case, it may or may work differently for you. It probably will work different every time. But in this particular case, the value change of this investment was 52% up. The trading fees are already accounted for, Ellen. Ellen just asked about trading fees. The trading fees are already accounted for. So everything that Dan showed you when he said the bought profit column, that is already after the fees are taken into account. After fees are taken into account. So yes, there's a fee every time you buy and sell, but the bot software is smart enough never to buy or sell at a loss, even accounting for the fees. So I thought that was one of I found this old screenshot. I thought it would be good to show how that actually works. Now it's really difficult. It's really difficult to understand how this works, because nothing else that I've ever seen investment-wise, Jason, works that way. And it reminds me of the conversation you and I had with our financial advisor, because Jason and I are pretty risk averse. And it's not that we're risk averse, we're just, we take care of our money, right? And after Dan showed us this, before we invested in this, we did a lot of research of our own. We tried to understand the metrics. We talked to our financial advisor and we explained to him how it worked. And he said, he didn't quite get it. And here's why he didn't quite get it. Because we asked him a question. In the stock market, if you pick any particular company stock, is there volatility throughout the day? And the answer is yes. All you have to do is you can watch like MSNBC or whatever that shows you the stock tickers, and they roll the big company stock tickers. And if you watch like a Microsoft, for example, or an Amazon, throughout the day, it goes up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down a little bit. People only talk about the opening and the closing prices, whether it's up or down. But throughout the day, there's ups and downs, ups and downs. And we asked our financial advisor, could we capture buy and sell every time the stock price changed a little bit? And the answer was no. And we asked why not? Well, it's just not possible. And then he caveated it with, it's not possible for mere humans to do it, because that is how the big firms on Wall Street do it. It's called, they have big fast internet pipes directly to the stock exchange. They have massive computing capabilities, and they do something called high frequency trading. But you and I cannot place orders fast enough to capture that volatility in the stock market. So it's not possible. So I said to him, even if I wanted to, I couldn't do, several thousand transactions per day with the same stock. And he said, no. The bots in this situation with the plan can do that. And it does not require that you have massive computing power and a big expensive internet connection directly to the stock exchange, where a microsecond counts when it comes to making money. The game in the stock market is rigged. Those big companies have an advantage that you and I cannot have. And in this case, there are no additional advantages.
Yeah.
You and I can do exactly the same thing. What's that, Jason?
The advantage is knowing how to set the bot up. That's
the advantage is knowing how to set the bot up to maximize profit potential while minimizing risk. It's the sweet spot, because you can do things that maximize profit potential. You can buy those meme coins for a penny. And if they go to $100, you made a killing. That's maximizing profit potential. But there's a whole lot of risk, right?
Yeah.
Or you can minimize risk down to the minimum and have no profit potential either. So what you want is the sweet spot of both. And that's what Dan has figured out with many, 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 many automations and millions of dollars that he's put through the system. And what he has now taught over 16,000 people in 130 countries to do.
Yep.
So you want to follow the instructions and the settings. Those are the secret sauce that Dan has figured out to maximize profit potential. It's not going to be the maximum profit potential. It's the maximization of profit potential balanced with minimizing risk. That's the sweet spot you want.
And we took a ton off the bottom, meaning the risk. And we only took a tiny little bit off the top, meaning the potential. Most people invest like this. Door number one, there's $1 million, or behind, there's two doors. Behind one door, there's $1 million. Behind another door, there's a murderer who will shoot you and kill you. And then they say, well, I hope I get lucky. I'm going to get rich or die trying, right? Instead, we say, here's 100 doors. Behind all of them is some profit potential, or if there's one or two doors that isn't, it's just a slight slap on the face. It's not some axe-wielding maniac jumping out to get you and yours. And what we have done here is we've barely capped the upside, but we've pretty much gotten rid of the downside as much as one can do and still have any attempt to make money. Otherwise, you can get like a minimum wage job and there's really no risk involved in that, but there's no upside involved in that either. And I want to clarify something because I think you know what it means, but for the recording, I don't know if people will catch this or not. When I said how to set it up is what makes the difference. I'm not talking how to technically set it up. You can do a YouTube search and you'll have 6,000, crypto dudes who's going to teach you, here's how you set up a bot. The first thing you do is you click this. The second thing you do is click that. Now, we do teach that, of course, but that's not what we're talking about when we say how to set up a crypto bot. What we're talking about is how to set it up in a way that maximizes profits while minimizing risk. And Dan has run 10,000 plus automations. He lost money the first several months that he did this before he stumbled on and figured out what made sense. And that's what we teach. And that's why we wrap it around an NDA. Just like Coca-Cola had a secret formula that they did not share with anybody. We have a secret formula and we put it behind a non-disclosure. So those on the outside do not get the formula because the formula is that damn good. And you
Jason,
saw it
that is a point worth repeating probably a couple of more times today.
Yep.
In that how to use the software, the mechanics of like what button to click, how to start, how to edit fields, and how to do the chart and how to drag it up or down. The vendor has training on how to do that. You can find that free on YouTube. Like, it's free. But it's the formula to put the settings into the bot and how to configure the bot, not the click buttons on the software, but the actual knowledge to what percentages and the number of grid lines and all that stuff.
And what coins to look for and how to stress test them.
And how to select the coins. Yeah, that's the secret sauce here. And that's what Dan has spent years and millions of dollars testing and perfecting in his system.
Yeah.
So when you look at the software, like Dan said earlier, Steven Spielberg uses Microsoft Word. Whoop-de-doo, that doesn't do you any good. Hey, yeah. You're gonna sign up for the software and you're gonna see, the vendor has training for how to use the software. Whoop-de-doo, congratulations, everybody has that, right? That is not the value of the plan. Don't get confused with mechanics how to versus the secret sauce, which is what settings to utilize inside the bot and how to select coin pairs safely. Yep. And look for the wiggle.
Yeah, most people running bots will lose money. I'm just going to say that. It's going to sound controversial because unless you understand the context, most people who run bots will lose money because they're not using the plan to set up their bots.
It's hilarious, bot. Jason. It's hilarious when you look at the software and look at review sites for the software.
Yeah. Oh, they hammer them.
Like they get hammered because everybody's, I lost money with the software. I lost money with the software. The software doesn't make you any money. It's the settings that you plug in. That's what makes you the money. It's not the software. It's not the
Absolutely.
software, it's the settings that you plug in. So you know, the software even suggests what coins you should select, and then will tell you how to filter through those, because you don't want to just select what the software tells you, because if the software was really good at it, then everybody would be making money with this. And like Jason said, you know, if you're not in the plan, chances are very, very likely that you're losing money with that software. And so you really need to understand that there's the how to, the mechanics of how to use the software. Dan does teach that, but that's just kind of like just to get you to a basic level. And it's the settings that he teaches you. That's what's really, really important here. Not only that, but the plan is more than just bots. He is going to start the training with a strategy of how to handle your investments. In his opinion, he's going to give you his opinion of how he handles. He kind of showed that a little bit earlier. There's a pie chart, and you're going to put 20, 30, 50 of your investment in different ways. And he talks about that because diversification is important. So he's going to actually tell you how, in the long run, you should consider structure your investments. Of course, the decision is always up to you. We're not giving you investment advice. We're not giving you any legal advice. We're not going to tell you what or how to invest your money. That decision is up to you. We're teaching you strategies that Dan has discovered and validated and tested over time. And he's going to give you his personal opinion advice that you should consider as you move forward in your crypto investments. Very, very, very sound advice. But again, it is up to you to learn it, understand it, consider it, and make a decision if you're going to follow it.
I got a couple of questions I want to rapid fire through here quickly, Will. We will still continue to answer other questions as they come in. And we got something else that brewing that we got to do here too, for those of you who are online that you know about. Are the examples given for phase one only? Yes. Phase four is quote unquote advanced bot strategies. They're not really advanced because they're not any more complicated, but they're designed for once you've ran bots for a while. There's some additional strategies that are available there. But the reason I can say everybody's only done phase one is because we just literally released phase four this week. Nobody's had a chance to implement it yet. And by the way, if all you need is, if you only do phase one for the rest of your life, good. You're going to be more than fine. You're going to be styling. How are you helping people manage the tax implications, since it sounds like there's quite a bit of short-term capital gains? They're damn right. There's a ton of short-term capital gains. That's the whole benefit of the system. We are not tax experts, but we know them, and we point to the resources to help you. Third parties that are qualified, we know some of the best on the planet. But
just to be very accurate, Jason, I think phase four was released about 10 days ago. But phase four isn't anything that impacts the running bots or how to set up your bots.
Correct.
It's a lot of strategies that will have you handle bots after they've been running for a while.
Yep, that's correct.
And so you will find out more about that later, but you don't need phase four, and even if you were to have access to it, you wouldn't utilize phase four as you get set up and get started. It's just not the way it works.
That's right. And then just to put a butt on that tax thing is, yeah, you plan on paying taxes and you are paying them out of an upswing in profit that otherwise you would have never got anywhere, any shape, any form. Right.
My wish to everybody on this webinar is that you pay more taxes than you ever thought possible in your entire life, tenfold.
Now, obviously, you're going to want to talk to a strategist to minimize any tax burden legally and ethically. You know what I mean, right? But the whole purpose of it is make a whole bunch of money and then figure out what to do with it secondly. Don't worry about money you haven't made yet. Make the money first. Many of these accounts had a net loss. They were showing a net loss, just to be very clear with you here, okay? What that meant is if they sold all of their positions exactly at that moment, they would have lost money. But the analogy, again, is like this. I'll give you a different analogy just to make it fun, right? You go down to the golden goose market and you buy the golden goose that lays the eggs. There's a market. One day they're having a sale and you can buy a golden goose for $50,000 and it's going to lay you a golden egg every single day. You buy that goose for $50,000, you go home, and the next day you wake up and there's the goose ticker and it says, hey, golden gooses now only sell for $25,000. You don't say, dang it, I just lost $25,000 because I bought it on the golden goose at $50,000 and it went down to $25,000. You say, I don't care because my golden goose is laying me 3 eggs a day. And these golden eggs I can sell, and they always sell for $100 because the golden egg market doesn't change. It's stable. And so you say, I don't care what the golden goose market does. I got these eggs. I get 3 of them a day. They each make me $100. I'm making $300 a day. $300 a day. Would you like to make $300 a day? I would, right? Especially if that goose is doing all the work for you. So in 10 days, that's $3,000. In 30 days, that's $9,000. I don't care that the golden goose market value went down. I just want to make sure she's laying eggs for me. And I wouldn't say one day, okay, it's back to $50,000 again. I'm going to sell my golden goose. I wouldn't, because she won't lay me any more eggs. And if the golden goose went to $100,000, I would be hesitant to sell her because she still wouldn't be laying me any golden eggs anymore, even though the profit value went up. So net loss is only if you were to sell everything. That's like the analogy Dan gave you earlier when you're sitting at a red light. You say, man, this red light is really long and red, so I'm just going to abandon my car and leave it here and just walk home. Well, no, we're not going to do that, okay? So that's the most important part to understand this. Now, it's possible, just to be very clear with you, that coin value never goes back up. It's possible, okay? In that instance, you can still be profitable like we've shown a couple different times now, because if it never goes back up, but it doesn't just flat out stay at the exact same price. Let's say it wiggles up a penny, wiggles down a penny, wiggles up a penny, wiggles down a penny, or wiggles up 10 cents, wiggles down 10 cents, right? Your bot can capture profit there, right? Now, if it's dropped below the grid range, we're not capturing it anymore because that's like having that insurance policy, that safety. Hey, if everything goes really sideways, we just wait it out until it gets back to normal again. So let's just be very clear with each other. You can lose money on the plan because it involves crypto, and anybody doing crypto can lose money with crypto. Hopefully, we all are adults and we can accept that fact. There are people out there who believe you can't lose money if you do X, or there are people that will sell you can't lose money if you do Y. That's insanity. Anything that you're investing in can lose money, and crypto doubly, triply, quadruply so, right? We can't control the markets. We can't predict the future, right? I'm going to finish this thought before you interject, Will.
Right.
The thing, though, is if you minimize the chances of you losing to almost nothing, and if you can also support it to where a loss for a normal person isn't a loss for you, well, now we're talking. And now it starts to make sense, because while crypto is absolutely volatile, it is producing as a whole better right now for those with a plan than any other available asset. This is why when people ask me this question, I know where it comes from and I appreciate it. So don't get offended here if I pick on you for a second. But when you say, hey, can this work in Forex? No. Okay. You have something, you sell to somebody like, this cures cancer, and they say, well, does it also cure headaches? No, it doesn't also cure headaches, but we're not here for a headache. We're here to cure the cancer, right? And so the idea here is this works for the best thing in the best way. And once you have this vision, it doesn't need to go anywhere else. You don't need to make it work in the stock market. You don't need to make it work in any other avenue. What you need to do is own it, and you need to follow through with it, and you need to do it. And do it mostly means do what? Nothing. Because you don't want to fiddle with the bots. You don't want to mess with the automations. You want to let them do their thing. And so we have a way, essentially, this is just an example, just a thought experiment for you. I don't play the lottery because I think it's a poor investment, because I know the odds of me winning are very low. But I would play the lottery if I could buy tickets for 100 for a penny. If I could buy 100 tickets for a penny, I'd play the market all damn day long, the lottery market, because I've changed the rules. I've mitigated risk, and I haven't capped the reward. And that's essentially what we've done here. We find ways that when normal people lose, we don't lose. We find ways to lose far less often, and we find ways to win far more often and at higher wins. Will?
Yeah, Jason, I just want to clarify something that you said, that you can doubly, quadruply lose for sure. You did not mean that you can lose that amount of the investment money.
We're not
so
leveraging.
You can never lose. You can never lose more than what you invest. So
not leveraging.
the maximum potential loss is whatever you invest in crypto. It's not, you're never going to invest 3,000 and lose 6. It's not possible. If you follow the plan, there are ways in crypto, like any other investment, where you can leverage yourself and lose more than your investment. Dan does not teach that. He does not condone that. So you will never lose any more if you do lose.
Yep.
And what Jason just said, if the coin loses value, but you're making money as it's losing value, it's possible that you're negative, but you will be less negative than anybody else that has just bought that coin and is trying to hold it to sell at a higher price. And it is very, very possible.
In every single instance, if you were to lose, you will lose less than somebody who just bought a lump sum of that coin and held on to it. They bought it at the same time you did and didn't run bots, because you will capture some wiggle. I don't know how much, but you will capture some. Now, in some instances, you will capture more wiggle than what the loss on paper of the value of that coin is if you were to sell it, which again, why sell the golden goose if she keeps laying golden eggs? The plan.vip/join, that's where you go to join. How much time do I get to decide? You go to the plan.vip/join. There's a big old countdown timer on that page. We've designed it so no matter where you scroll on that page, that thing follows you around, because it's very, very important that you get in before that does hit 0. Now, Trevor has a great question. He says, is there a cost per person? I'm thinking of also setting up one for my wife and my kids that are separate. Here's the cool thing. And again, this is why I urge all of you to go to the plan.vip/join, because on that page, there's a FAQ section. And one of the things specifically addresses the question that Trevor has asked here. And so if somebody in your immediate household wants also to access the materials under one account, they can, and also a business partner of yours that you can prove legitimately that you're in business. So we will need documentation that validates that. You can do that with them as well. So the specifics on that are answered at the plan.vip, the plan.vip/join, very, very specifically. All of that's laid out. Do I use the demo account even when I'm not invested? We recommend you always start with the demo account for many, many reasons. But here's a really cool reason is Dan will show you when you set up a bot what it should look like. And it'll be obvious if you set it up wrong. Like say you typoed something, or you like, dyslexically kind of switch one setting and another setting around, right? It will look different than it's supposed to. So that's why we always recommend demo first, just so that way you don't accidentally click something or do something you're not supposed to. Because when you compare it to what Dan's showing, you'll be like, oh, okay, I got it, right? So that's one of the reasons why you should always do demo. But another reason that you should always do demo is safety. Just so you can run. Here's what I would love for you to do. I would love for you to run like 10 demo bots. That's $30,000 in capital if those were live bots. Most of you are not going to be able to dump $30,000 in immediately day one, so you couldn't run 10 bots. You can in demo. Here's what happens when you run 10 bots in demo for 7 days. You are going to look at one column in the demo mode more specifically than any other column, and that column is average daily trading time. That's what I want you to look at. So run 10 automations, and I want you to look at the column that says average daily trading time. And it will have a percentage. And the percentage will say 0.12 or 0.08 or 0.27 or 0.63. And what does that mean? It literally means that's what it's returning to you per day. So if you're running a bot in demo, that bot, if it was real money, would be giving you a 0.63% return every single day. Isn't that crazy? That means every 2 days, you've made 1.2% basically. So guess what? If you have 10 bots, you want to find the one that's wiggling the most. It's the one that has the highest percent on average daily trading time. And maybe that's the one you want to run live first. It doesn't have to be. And of course, past results doesn't predict the future and all that, but it's an indicator. And it might be a really good one if you say, I can run one bot. I ran 10 bots in demo, and this is the one that won the drag race. So this is the one that I'm starting. I'm putting this one in first, live. And so you should always be running demo bots first before you do anything else. Now, of course, it's your money, your decision, do whatever you want with it. But that's best practices. That's recommended. How different is the plan from others? Ooh, that's a really good question. Okay. Let me count the ways, right? To be Shakespearean with you here for a second. First of all, better support than anything you're going to find in the industry. We have 50 plus people on support. A lot of those tier 1 support people, they have come with us in the company of Rapid Crush Some of them are going on a decade. We've been here for quite a while doing this stuff, helping, supporting people find better ways to get financial independence. And so by far, head and shoulders, a million times over, the plan is differentiated in terms of its support. And then we have tier 2 support. These are all the folks that Dan initially informally showed what became the plan to, who've been on it the longest and have supported now thousands and thousands of customers all across the world. So it has that as well. But I'll tell you what it also has. Who else is out there right now showing live portfolios from their initial students that joined them about a year ago in the worst market we've seen in crypto in quite some time? Who's showing their own portfolios? I haven't found them. Have you found them? Now, who does it live? Because somebody could fake that and pretend it's theirs, and it's really just a clever example of Photoshop. But who's doing it live with an independent third-party software? Who has more clients than we do teaching this stuff? The answer is no one. We are the market leader. And you know what I find? I don't know about you, but when I make a decision, I don't say, hey, listen, show me the 5th best person in the market. That's who I want to go with. Let me get number 3, right? Why? He's a really nice guy. You know, him and I, we went to the same college together. So give me number 12. I want the 12th best. And you say, well, he's a lot cheaper. Yeah, he is a lot cheaper because he's the 12th best. That's why he's cheaper. And that might make sense when you're buying shirts. I don't know if that makes sense when it comes to your financial future. So we are absolutely, unequivocally, without a doubt, the market leader, which is insanity because we got a late start, my friend. We have been publishing the plan not even a year yet. We're going close to a year. We haven't even got to a year yet. It's crazy how late we were to start the race and how quickly we zoomed to number 1. Because when you have the right plan, that's what matters more than anything. That's why I want you on the plan. The plan.vip/join. But that's a fantastic question.
Hey, Jason, let's bring Dan in. I got a question for Dan
great.
that I'd like Dan to answer. I'd like to hear back from Dan. Dan, if you're there, there he is. Hey, we got a different view of Dan right now. All right.
Yeah, the full
Dan, talk about the different kinds of bots. There's standard bots and hodl bots. Give us a quick preview of what those are.
Okay, as I mentioned earlier, what I've shared with you today as we talk is just the tip of the iceberg. As we get in it, there are actually multiple types of bots. One of them is a hodl bot. And the neat thing about that is the fact that most people hodl, like a buy 1 Bitcoin and they'll wait a year. And at the end of the year, guess what? You got 1 Bitcoin. Now, yeah, it may be worth more and that's good, but you got Bitcoin. But using this special type of bot that I'll show you, at the end of the year, you will have more of the Bitcoin or the underlying coin than when you started. So it just stands to reason. If you start with 1 Bitcoin and at the end of the year, you got 1.5 Bitcoins, then if it's worth more, you're going to have more money. So I will show you how to do a special type of bot. I call it a hodl bot, which allows you to increase the actual coin count of the coin that you're hodling over time. So there's that. You know, what I've done as far as many of the other coins is I show you the types of coins that are the lowest in risk. I mean, we're not looking to invest in some of these crazy off the chart meme coins that nobody's ever heard of and all of that. But I'll show you, you know, how to find the right coins. But more importantly, after doing tens of thousands of these automations, I figured out a formula. And it is that formula that when applied to most of what I call the standard coins, that formula is what will give you your best average wiggle or best average return on a dollar while you're what can I say, while you're doing nothing. So those are the main you know, 2 types you know, of bots that I teach, and then of course there are some additional ones as we get on into phase 4.
Hey Dan, I have a very important question for you. Did you change shirts?
Yeah, you know, one of the great things about crypto is I'll show you this secret when you get in there is you'll be able to afford a shirt like this.
I like this shirt better than the other one you were wearing about an hour ago.
Oh God, yeah. I took a
I
break.
like
I
this
was
shirt.
riding around.
How do we get one of those?
I took a break while after I finished. I rode. I was riding around the block. You know, I stopped at the stoplight, and the policeman comes over and says, "What you doing here?" And I said, "I was waiting for somebody to pay me some more money." No, I'm just kidding. I heard you
That's
can make money just sitting here.
that's awesome.
Oh, guy, listen. You know, here's the thing. I try to have fun as I do this. I mean, so many people that do crypto, I swear they spend most of their time sweating under the bed, I think. And I have had more fun in my life over the last several years doing crypto. And you know, I've lost money, folks, here and there, as I told you earlier. But if you learn how to do it right, it just you get your head on straight, and then it does you know, become fun. So you know, we do try to have fun. I think Jason mentioned earlier, we do these sessions called Fly on the Wall, as if though you were a fly on the wall and you're overlooking or eavesdropping on me and my partner, Tony, as we're doing these trades, and we have a lot of fun, you know, doing it. So you'll be privy to that as well. And we do make it fun. I mean, this is a serious business. It's your real money. And yes, you're doing it because you want to create, you know, a more optimistic future, okay? Maybe a road to wealth. And so we're doing something serious here, but we're having fun as we do it. And I think that's one of the reasons why, you know, people join the plan. It's like, let's make money, have fun. What else? What could be better than that?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it. Jason, what other questions have you been seeing?
Yeah, so I got more. I got plenty more that we're going to bounce through, but a couple of things I wanted to address first, or what I wanted to address first specifically is when you go to sign up at the plan.vip/join, you will not see this extra special bonus that we have for you. It's called the coin pair research. It's an exclusive bonus, and you get 2 months of free access to this. So I want to break this down a little bit more specifically and a little bit more thoroughly here before we go back to answering some questions. All right, so when you sign up for the plan.vip/join, you're going to get 2 months, as I said, of the coin pair research. And it's really kind of cool. When you log into the members area, really great members area, we custom built it from scratch specifically for you in the plan. You're going to see something. I put a gigantic arrow on it, and it's going to say coin pair research. Now, if you get access to the members area like as soon as possible, you might not see coin pair research yet, because we release it about I think a couple weeks, like 2 weeks after we close the door for the plan when you sign up. So everybody can go through the sessions, get accommodated, understand how it works. And that way we want to we don't want to have a ticking clock on your 60 days, like immediately, and you're not be able to use it. So you'll see this show up in a week or two from when we close the doors on the plan. It'll say coin pair research. And then when you click on it, you'll get a whole bunch of them. I just took a screenshot of the latest one that was there before we went on here live today on this call on May 3rd. We publish them quite frequently. On average, we promise 24 per month, almost always exceed that. The high level of this is you get all the settings. You get the research coin pairs, you get copy and paste ready. And the way it works is this. What you do is, you see the coin pair. This is the exact coins. So the coin pair is, here's the 2 coins that you need to run the automation, where you pair a coin up because you need to pair coins to run an automation. So it'll tell you literally, it'll tell you exactly specifically what those 2 coins are. And then it'll say, as long as the top coin of these 2 coins is within this price range from here to here, then it follows the plan. And so if you say, okay, cool, let me look at that top coin, I'll check the price of it. Okay, it does follow the plan. Cool. Then you may want to run this in demo mode. And I'll say, if you do want to run it in demo mode, then you take the low price. This is where you set the low price at on your grid in the software. This is where you set the upper price at, the high price on your grid in the software. And this is your wiggle rate that you set specifically. And then you check this box. You turn this on, trailing up. So if you want to think about it, all you have to do in order to run an automation, whether you do it on your own or whether you do it with the coin pair research, is you really need to input only a couple things. 1, the coin pair. 2, the lower price on your grid. 3, the upper price on your grid. 4, the wiggle rate, what's called a grid step. and then check a box called trailing up. 5 things. That's all you have to input. Just 5 things. Now, obviously, most people who don't have the plan, who just, they know, hey, I can input 5 things. Yeah, they can set up a bot. That's why most people lose money with bots, because it's so easy that it's easy to lose money if you don't have a plan. But when you have the plan, whether you're doing it on your own or you're following the coin pair research and testing it out and then validating it with your own research, 5 things, then it becomes super easy. Can you copy and paste these 5 things in? I think if so, welcome to the plan. Doesn't matter if you've had experience with crypto or not before. It doesn't matter if you're a trader or not. Can you do those 5 things? That's all I'm asking. And that's what we offer here for you. Now, we teach you those 5 things too. The last thing we want for you is to be dependent on us. We want to help create financial independence for you. And so you can take it or leave it. You can use it or not use it. For many, many months, most people didn't even have coin pair research that were in the plan, and they did absolutely awesome. Yet we are always looking to give you even more advantage and to support and help you further. So this is where you need to go, the plan.vip/join. You will not see it mentioned on that page. That's an extra special bonus just for you. You will get it though, and it will start, and you'll get 60 days from the time that it kicks in that you can run and get access to the coin pair research. And then after that, if you want to continue to use it, it's $300 a month. And it's worth every damn penny of it, because you will see at that point in time, if you want to continue to use it, how good it is, because you've used it. If you never used it, then don't pay for it, because you've demonstrated you don't need it. Cool. And that's on you. It's a resource that is available for you whenever you want to use it. If you want pure automation given to you where you can copy and paste it in, it's always available to you, but we give you 2 months for free to get you started, to really empower you with the plan, to plan.vip/join.
Hey, Jason, the way most people think they're going to use coin pair research is not the way that they end up using coin pair research, or shouldn't use coin pair research. Now, you can use it all kinds of different ways. You can just copy and paste and set up bots. Easy enough. We prefer that you don't do it that way. You can, but we prefer that you utilize it as a training resource, which is why you're getting 2 months of it for free. The best way for you to use coin pair research, in my opinion, is during your learning process, while you're working on the demo bots, because you're supposed to use demo bots, is you go to coin pair research and you look at the coin pair, and you don't look at any of the settings to copy and paste. You just look at the coin pair. Then you go to the software and you configure your own settings based upon the training, the way you learn how to do it. Then you go back and compare what you came up with what is recommended in coin pair research and CPR. If you match or came pretty close, then you've learned exactly how to do it, which means in the future you don't need CPR, right? Which is how we want it to be. We don't want you to be dependent on us, like Jason said. If you didn't come up with anything close, then you should go back to the training and review the training again and start the process over. And over a 2-month period, if you do this over and over and validate, it is also going to give you the confidence to know that you can select coin pairs just as well as Dan can, because he's a master teacher at this. He is very, very good at teaching this stuff. And if you just follow the instructions that he's going to share with you, you're going to be able to do this for yourself. The team the research team, Dan, Tony, and a couple of other folks on his team that are doing the research for CPR, they're not utilizing any special tools or anything. They're literally doing the exact same thing that Dan teaches you to do in the course. However, it is also nice. Then you have people like Jason, for example. Jason just doesn't want to, he knows he can do the research. He's very comfortable with doing the research on his own. But rather than spending 5 or 10 or 15 minutes to do the research and come up with his own settings, he just goes to CPR, grabs them, copies and pastes. He knows it's exactly the same thing that he would do anyway. And there he goes. That's how he starts 9 out of 10 bots of his. So that's a couple of different ways. And I suggest you use it as a learning tool more than anything else. Now, Dan, you're back. And is that a different shirt? Do you have on a different shirt?
I found this extra Bitcoin in my pocket, so I went and got another shirt.
That is awesome, Dan. I love your collection of shirts. That is absolutely awesome.
Uh,
You're like one of those quick changing trick parlor tricks or something. I just want to see you do it on camera. Snap fingers, change shirts.
Yeah, but most people are wondering what this thing over here is. This is the moon. We don't do moonshots. I've captured the moon. Are you see? It's right here, guys. Just
That is
join. You don't have to
awesome.
chase it.
That is awesome. Thanks for that, Dan. And your shirt collection is awesome, man.
Okay. Any questions or am I good to go?
So far, I think we're good to go. I will probably call on you again. Jason, you see any questions that we need Dan to answer?
Yeah, I would, because like Dan, you're a trader or you've done trading and you understand trading, you know? And so it's like, what about somebody who has no experience in trading and knows nothing about trading and they don't even know what that means when we talk about trading in terms of cryptocurrency? What would you say to that person? They said, I'm interested in the plan, but I don't have any experience in trading or cryptocurrency. Should I do this?
Lucky you. My gosh, I think some of the people that have had trading experience, it's like there is a certain kind of a thrill to it. And you kind of get addicted, you keep trying to find the next magic indicator, the next magic chart pattern, or the next, magic bullet. And it's the chase, I think, that you get thrilled with. And you keep dreaming of hitting the big moonshot and making the money and all of that. I understand that because I'm pretty good at it, but I don't teach it because it's just so risky. I mean, it is a fact that 95% of the people that do crypto, and when I say do crypto, they're doing crypto trading, 95% of the people lose money. And that's not fun. I mean, it's kind of fun to think you're learning and think one day you're going to crack the code and whatever. But hey, guys, I already cracked the code. I already cracked the code, and it's not done through trading. It's done through a completely different approach to the market. I explained it to you already. It's just a matter of do you want to do it or not? And then you can have as many shirts as you can imagine. So yeah, no trading. I mean, if you've done it, it's not that it's going to hurt you. But it's just don't try to layer some of the trading knowledge that you have into this because it'll hold you back. You just got to give me a clean slate, start this, just the way we teach it, and do less, in front of the monitor and more of living life. Start thinking of charities you can support, start thinking of the vacations that you want to take. I mean, if you're into the cars and the Lambos and all that, hey, that's fine. It's funny, we had one of our members, I think it was a member or an affiliate or one of our partners just shared, a picture of their baby Lambo they just got today. It was something, but we are changing lives. But it's not through trading. It's through learning how to do a robust plan and let automation do a lot of the work for you.
Yeah, well said, Dan. Thank you for that.
And thank you for what you're doing, Dan, because truly you are changing lives. And of course, we all love making money, and we're here because we want to make money, and that's why I'm here. But what really, really makes a difference is hearing those customer success stories. That drives us to stay on a webinar for hours and hours and hours answering questions because we know we're changing lives, and we see them when we get the success stories all the time. And the heartfelt, heartwarming stories they are. And then we get the funny ones and the fun ones too. Like I got the picture of the car, the red car that she got today.
Yeah.
License plate was, spelled Wiggler without an E at the end, right? It was awesome because she's into the wiggle, right? So very, very cool stuff that's happening and that you're doing. And thank you for sharing this with the world. You've already helped so many people. There are over 16,000 customers already in the plan in 130 countries. It's funny because our accounting team sends us every time there's a new country in the sales report. And sometimes we have to go look it up. Where the heck is that country? My geography's gotten a lot better since publishing the plan because I have to look up where countries are. And I've never heard of these places, right? And yet they're doing it. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you can buy and sell crypto in any way, shape, or form, you can do this, and you probably should be doing this. Crypto, Dan, is here to stay. It's not a fad. If I'd asked you 5 years ago, Dan, is crypto a fad? What would you have said 5 years ago?
I would have done exactly like I did with Tony. I wasn't answering his phone calls. I just, I was not interested in it. I hadn't really thought about whether it was a fad or not a fad. It's just that I had done a little bit of trading earlier in my life, and it just wasn't my thing. And I just thought that crypto, it's just, trading something, and I didn't even know where crypto was. So I really, I feel like I ended up discovering, I never, like when you're a kid, you always say, I'm going to grow up, be a fireman or whatever. I mean, I didn't ever think I was going to be like this leading crypto, guru or whatever you call it. That just was not in the cards for me, and it just happened. And what a blessing, because it is, people sometimes ask me, well, what do you do now? Well, I still play around with some advanced stuff, and I'm always looking for the next thing. And if I find it, I bring it back and share it with you guys. But the thing that I enjoy most now, I get up in the morning, first thing I do, I get my coffee, I come here, and I used to be, I'd look at my profit. I got old after a while. Now what I do is I go in and I look at the emails that have come in and the posts that are people sharing their stories. And that's really the enjoyment that I get now. That's it. It's a good thing, and I'm very eager now to help as many people as I can. So I'm hoping you guys are hearing this. I'm hoping you guys, see the sincerity of this. If you won't help, hey, I'm your guy. This team is here to help you.
Dan, I was probably, out of your close network of friends, Jason and I are probably some of the latest adopters, right? Because we were just adamant against it. And at first it was like, this is really interesting. We jumped on it really, like when Dan tricked us to get on the call. By the way, Dan tricked me with $25,000 to get on the call. He said, I have $25,000 for you, but you got to give me an hour on Zoom. And so I did the math. I was like, $25,000 an hour. He can tell me whatever he wants for $25,000 an hour. and that was really awesome. But Jason and I were on it immediately, and it's only been a year journey for me. I'm a very late adopter on this stuff. Like I said earlier, I'm very conscious and risk averse primarily with my money, and since then it has changed my view, and I've become more in tune with what's going on in the world regarding crypto that I was ignoring before. And when you look all around you, I can honestly say to you that whether you're in crypto now or not, in your future, you will be. It's not going to be an option. Everybody will be in crypto. So the question is whether you get in now and become an earlier adopter, not the earliest of adopters, because that's time's already passed, right? It's already fairly mainstream. Or are you going to wait until it gets pushed down your throat? Because at some point it will. It reminds me of like credit cards. When I was a lot younger, credit cards didn't exist, and then few people had credit cards. Now you can almost not survive without a credit card.
That's right.
Or a debit card or something like that. Just the ability of having cash doesn't do you any good, because you can't go to a travel agency and pay cash for an airplane ticket these days. You got to book it online. So you got to have a way to pay online. Crypto is the same thing. If you look at governments that are now accepting tax payments in crypto, government agencies in the United States.
I can pay taxes here. I'm in Arizona. We can pay our taxes in Bitcoin here.
That's how much more mainstream do you want to get than governments accepting crypto as payment? So
it's smart. I don't, by the way, I don't pay my taxes in Bitcoin.
Keep your Bitcoin, it'll be worth a lot more.
I give them fiat because it loses
it's
value.
worth less.
Hey guys, a couple people are writing in saying that they're having trouble checking out. If that is you, I absolutely recommend you do the following. You write to support@rapidcrush.com. What a great way to test out our support, by the way, because we're here for you before, during, and after you sign up for the plan. And after could be several years from now, as we have supported products for 10 plus years that we still support through support. So when you go to the plan.vip/join, you're going to see a link to support there. But if you're on the checkout page, and for whatever reason, we have so many people coming through right now, you can't get checked out just quite yet, absolutely please write to support at rapidcrush.com right now. We will find a way to get you in, especially if you're trying to get in before this webinar expires, because you know why. We're going to find a way to get you in and help you to the best of our ability. So I just wanted to interject in there, guys, because I just saw a couple of them, not a lot, just a few of them pop up that were saying they were having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and really quick, if you're having trouble, the easiest thing to try is a different browser. So if you're using Chrome, try Safari or Firefox, or if you're using Edge, try Chrome, whatever. Just change the web browser that you're using and try that. That's usually a very quick fix. It's usually on your browser side. So Jason, have you been watching the questions box? Any other questions that we should?
Yeah, I have a couple really good ones here. First of all, I just the time question. I wanted to answer that one because the $1 million question is always like, yeah, well, given enough time, I could probably master this system, but I don't want to wait 7 years, pay you a whole bunch of money today, twiddle my fingers and pay my dues before I can finally become successful. Because let's face it, most courses, there's a massive learning curve involved that nobody talks about and that oftentimes you won't account for. And you're thinking you can do this right away. Now, that's almost always impossible for everything else. This is the exception. Will and I have published over 100 courses. There's a reason why Dan put $25,000 on the line to trick us onto a Zoom call, because he knows if anybody's going to publish my things, these guys are the best in order to do that. And so we've published over 100 courses, and we have never seen a course where the learning curve is as less as this one is, and the immediacy of adoption is as great as this one is. So let's break that down into what that means specifically. After the second module, you will be able to run automations. You will be able to run bots after module number 2. Now, if you already have some sort of crypto, then you'll be able to run automations even quicker, because here's the thing that's going to hold you up the most. When you first bring crypto in, there's kind of a waiting period to transfer the money into the crypto world. And so that's going to be a thing. Now, in some places, it's quicker than other places. Australia, they seem to have figured this out. The US is kind of lagging behind. I got to wait a couple of days when I first started in order to do that. But the actual training process is about 4 hours of runtime. What I mean is watching about 4 hours of the material in the modules for the average person is going to be enough for you to run your first bot. Now, that's a HODL bot. A HODL bot is absolutely the safest of all bots. It won't wiggle quite as much, but the safety net on that thing is incredible, and that's designed to hold the best of the best types of cryptocurrencies. And then another hour or two, and you'll learn how to run all the bots that are taught in phase 1 of the plan. And so, by the way, that doesn't mean it will take that long. In our video player, if you want to turn the speed up, I talk kind of fast. Dan talks a little slower than I talk, right? And so if you want to turn the speed up and you want to listen at 2x speed or whatever the limitation is that you can stand, you can get through it faster. Of course, you can take your time too, because this isn't a race. This isn't a sprint nor a marathon. This is a journey that we're going on here together. But oftentimes we see people in less than a week's time, once they get access to the members area, have their first bots running. There is a learning curve, but what Dan has done is remove the complexity. And when you remove everything else and you're only left with a few things to do, that is pure genius. That is pure brilliance. That's why Dan is the man with the plan. And so you're going to get up and running faster than you've ever seen possible. Now, here's what's really cool about that. Up and running doesn't mean, okay, now I got a dog in the fight. Let's see if it pays off. Up and running doesn't mean I planted a seed and now I'm going to just sit around and wait for the tree to grow. Up and running means you run an automation that day. It is almost inevitable. By the end of that day, you will have collected profit. Tell me if any time in your life you've ever bought in a course, looked at it for 4 hours or less, and then got money from it. And that money was repeatable and predictable and ongoing and could come in several hundred times a day. I've never seen it in my life, and I've seen more than you've seen because I'm on the publisher side and I've bought more courses than you've bought in too. I can guarantee you both of those things. And so this is why this thing is taken over. You got to remember that Dan first came to the world of marketing, really got his first big hit from The Secret. That Oprah thing that was on Oprah, was all over the planet. Dan was the marketing guy behind that. And so Dan has seen things happen before that have caught like wildfire. This is catching on faster. than that was. And I think it makes sense. One of them was attraction. The other one was actual implementation, the reality showing up sooner as opposed to the attraction and then the reality on delay. Okay. So that's a great question. I wanted to answer that. The time is faster than anything I've ever seen, and the return is swifter than anything I've ever seen. And it's predictable too. The plan.vip/join. Now, here's another really good question that I wanted to touch upon. Somebody meticulously count. I like this person. I love it because they get real specific here. They say 12 out of the 18 accounts shown had a greater overall loss than their total sum bought profit. True, they did. Okay. Now, loss in value, not loss in money. Let's just be very clear. Those are two very distinct and very separate things. Okay. So yes, 12 did. Only 3 out of the 18 had both some total profit and some bought profit, while the remaining 3 had lost some total, but lesser than some bought profit. It might be because of the downtrend, but this shows that there's more chance of losing in downtrend than gaining. So it's not really mitigating risk. Fantastic question. Let's break that down because that's super duper important to understand. Now, first of all, everybody's account right now who's been in crypto at any point in time, except for that lucky 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 or 1 in a million person, is down right now. Now, here's what's more fascinating. That percentage, when you're saying that sum total profit and loss, would be greater if that person wasn't running automations. So it has mitigated risk because they have lost less. Now, again, trust me, nobody's buying a course to say, hey, I want to sign up to learn how to lose less, right? But the reality is in the marketplace, if you do lose and you do this enough, you will lose. Would you want to lose more or would you want to lose less? And so any other person that were holding those coins, they lost 2 times or 3 times as much in most instances as what these 12 folks lost that showed that they had that complete negative, right? So does that mitigate risk? It does mitigate risk. Wouldn't you agree with that? It mitigates it because, hey, would you rather lose 30% or lose 10%? I mean, the answer is you'd rather lose neither, but you can't play the game on the sidelines. You got to be in the game. So that's how we mitigate risk. But there's another factor going on here, right? Would you be so concerned if you had some red showing up? If you didn't also have daily actual profits coming in? You say the market goes up, the market goes down, and it does. And the crypto market goes up and down more than most markets do, probably all the markets, right? But every single day, there's still profit to be had. There's still actual captured, taken off the table profits. So that also mitigates risk, and that mitigates a greater risk, which is the human error that comes involved with trading. It mitigates the risk of somebody panicking and getting out too soon, which is what always happens. That's how that mitigates that risk. It helps you weather the storm because yes, the property value may be down right now, but that tenant is still paying you every day. He's coming by saying, here's $50 in your pocket. Here's $50 in your pocket. Here's $60 in your pocket. Here's $40 in your pocket. Here's $90 in your pocket. Wouldn't you agree with me that that helps mitigate risk a long way? Because we're playing, let's be very clear with each other. Even though the bot is trading perhaps hundreds of times or even thousands of times per day, these bots are, we're playing a long-term game. And the long-term gain is we want to be in the market for the long term because cryptocurrency is going to massively disrupt tons of markets, not just the financial market. Look at the art market. It's already completely adjusted it. A lot of people are on the outside scratching their heads saying, how are these weird cartoon apes, some of them with cigarettes in their mouths? How is this the thing now? How is this the NFT poster child, right? Well, understand it or not, you got to accept it. It's completely disrupting that market. The metaverse has disrupted Facebook completely. Good or bad, I don't know. But nonetheless, it made them change their whole freaking name, right? It reminds me of how Uber disrupted the taxi industry or how Apple and Spotify completely disrupted the music industry. And that's what crypto is going to do. There's 57 industries that are predicted by 2025 to be completely gutted and changed absolutely through cryptocurrency, right? Some of you have been asking, Jason, why don't you take cryptocurrency as payment for the plan? Working on it, but the industry hasn't been disrupted yet. to where that replaces the old shopping cart technology that we're using now. It will get there though, and we will be the first to adopt it when it's to that point, but it hasn't hit yet. So don't you think it stands to reason that if you're holding these coins before they take over the industry, as opposed to after they take over the industry, don't you think you get the best of them? And the answer is, of course you do. But why try to guess if I should own this and how long I should own this? Just get it, hold on to it for the long term, and let the wiggle soak up cash flow for you in the short term. So you can have a couple extra thousand in your pocket or more per month to live your life. Not just be rich on paper one day, maybe someday, but be poorer today because you're putting more money into the market and you're not seeing a return that ends up in your pocket the next day. And that's what the importance of what the plan is. And that's why 16,000 plus people in less than a year have said, I'm in. They sign an NDA. Come on now, right? Who signs an NDA? It must be damn good if we're willing to put it under lock and key, and it must work out really well when people are accepting that and holding true to that non-disclosure, which allows us to just empower the community of those who are willing to invest in themselves. And that's the plan.vip/join. So hopefully, and I said we'd have to answer that question a couple different times because I get it. It's like saying, hey, gravity doesn't exist on planet Dan, right? But it doesn't. Not the way that Dan does the plan. Normal rules do not apply when you follow this approach. And that's why it's so effective. It's not the sexiest approach because 99% of the time, if you're following the plan correctly, you're what? You're doing nothing. That's not sexy, not from a slick, cool marketing approach. That is an exciting, freaking adventurous lifestyle, movie star lifestyle, but it's the best. And I'm telling you, I think you got more important things to do with your life than worry about money all damn day and be stuck in front of monitors. That's just me. Tell me if I'm right or tell me if I'm wrong there. And so that's what the plan comes in. Doing nothing is the most likely outcome in these scenarios because of the fact that the automations take care of it for you and that we play this in the long run. Okay. All right, the plan.vip/join. We're going to hang on here and we're going to try to answer some more questions. Now, if we don't answer your question exactly, specifically out loud, it's because we probably did it in the chat maybe. But if not, we try to clump questions together and answer the spirit of the question too. And we are only human. I know it's hard to believe, but yeah, we can make mistakes as well while we're doing this. So be patient with us, give us some time. And then if we haven't answered it, we'll answer it again. Go over what computer you need. This is a good one. You don't even necessarily need a computer, right? I would recommend you set your bots up in a computer, and it doesn't matter what kind of computer as long as it gets the internet. Laptop is fine, any sort of computer. The reason why is because the interface on a phone is a little bit different. I love the phone because that's where I look at my bot profits, and it's really cool. And by the way, the fun thing to do is when you run the plan, people will not believe you how good you're doing. And that's when you do what I call the phone close. You say, well, I can't explain it. Let me just show you. And then you start showing them and they say, what? Nuh-uh, you made that already? Oh my God, some more just came in right now. I'm looking at it because it will live time update when you're capturing bot profit. It will go up in front of people sometimes as you show it to them. But you just need a computer every so often, and you don't even need a computer access 100% of the time, just whenever you want to set up a bot or two. You don't need an internet access 100% of the time, just the time it takes you to set up a bot. This is all powered by the cloud. And so once you run a bot, it just runs for you. A higher level question is this, or a higher level point, I should say, is this. The money is always within your control 100%. So the way that it kind of works, I'm going to oversimplify it here, is the bots are only allowed to make trades within your exchange. They cannot pull the money out of your exchange and put it in their exchange. They can't pull it out of your exchange and put it into somebody else's exchange. They have a limit in what they can do, and that's essentially trade a whole bunch of times under the rules you give them, the marching orders that you provide to them. But on a higher level, you are 100% in control of your money at all times. Nobody else is, only you are. And we even go a step further. In the plan, we give you information on how to be safe in your protection. Because oftentimes when you see the types of of status that we showed you today, like these wiggling bots are wiggling out a 1 point per day, or even a half a point per day, or they've wiggled out 12% in the last month or 15% in the last month, almost always when you see somebody advertising those types of returns, it's a complete lie. It's a complete scam. It's tough for Will and I, because we're like, damn, what happens if you actually do that when everybody else pretends to do that and don't? But here's how they get you. They'll say, I'll show you how to do 1% a day. Just give me your money. Send it to me, and then I'll take care of it for you. And that's almost always how those damn things run. And so we will never ask. If somebody comes to you pretending they're in the plan and says, yeah, I'm in the plan, now give me your money, you report them to us immediately, and we will swiftly, with every resource that the legal arms that we have can provide, we will take care of them, because that is not what we do.
Nobody
Never,
with a plan will ever ask you for your usernames and passwords or wallet information or secret seed keys or anything related to you giving us access. So if anybody asks you, they are not with the plan. And if anybody outside of the plan asks you for it, do not give it to them, because you're being scammed. I heard of a scam recently where somebody said, hey, I know you invested in some crypto and you're being charged with money laundering, and we need to clear your name. So send this amount of Bitcoin, and that will whitelist your blah, 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 blah. Never. It was all a scam. Nobody should ever ask you to send them your crypto or access to your crypto. So please, whether you join the plan or not, do not fall for any of those types of scams. Now, Mary asked an interesting question. What if there's a cybersecurity threat and the internet were shut down? What would happen to our money? It would disappear, Mary, but here's the situation. If the entire internet were to shut down, the world would cease to turn. These days, the world cannot survive without the internet. Think about all the things that we do that there are no other ways to do without internet. Now, you can survive without internet for an hour or two or a day or two because your internet service provider is down, but the world can't survive without the internet these days. Way too many things revolve around the internet. The internet is extremely resilient. And when I say internet, I'm not talking about your cable provider that may be down once in a while. I'm talking about the general internet, where all this stuff runs in a distributed fashion. Cryptocurrencies run on computers all over the planet. So even if an entire country was shut down or a hemisphere was shut down, it still wouldn't break the crypto world.
I mean, that's the beauty of blockchain ledgers, isn't it, Will? Is the fact that instead of one centralized place and only one place, it's spread all across the world in tiny millions of little pieces that have redundancy.
Yeah. Think about situations that are awful that are going on in the world right now. For example, the war in the Ukraine. Even in the worst of conditions, they have internet. And the internet is becoming more and more resilient. What happened when they were threatened? There were threats of internet shutdowns in the Ukraine due to infrastructures being blown up. Elon Musk said, here's some satellite dishes. Hey, I'll provide you internet via satellite. You a little satellite dish and a cable modem, and you have internet, right? The internet is becoming more resilient and more resistant to threats. Now, don't confuse this with threats to specific servers or institutions or government agencies. Those are centralized. The blockchain is not centralized. The blockchain is decentralized. So it would be possible for an intruder to attack your bank, Chase Bank, Bank of America, and destroy all kinds of systems and take them completely down. It is much less likely, much less likely that somebody or a hacker group would be able to take down the blockchain, because there are way too many thousands of computers all over the place. You can run a computer that hosts the blockchain on your laptop if you want to. And you're part of the blockchain. You are ensuring that the decentralized nature of the blockchain continues to thrive as long as your computer is running. And there are many thousands of computers that participate in making sure the blockchain exists and survives. So
yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to be reasonable, right? There's a chance, a non-zero chance, that you walk out of the door tomorrow, a storm happens, and you get struck by lightning and die. That, I'm not saying it's likely, but is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. So does that mean we never walk out of our house ever again? And by the way, staying in the house, that's also scary. House could fall down and crush you and you could be dead, right? So we have to be considerate to what is a reasonable fear and what is an irrational fear. I will tell you something I believe is irrational that people think is acceptable. Putting all their money in the banks. I mean, the banks have repeatedly a track record of complete abuse of power and misappropriation of conduct, right? And their penalty is usually the CEO getting fired with a $50 million golden parachute, right? I mean, they play in a whole different world, but because we're used to that and because we think we understand that facade, we are more than willing to run into it with open arms and never question it again. See, crypto is great because crypto allows you to take more responsibility and cut out all the fat, all the middle layers, and all that other nonsense that has came from the old way of doing things. Now, on the same kind of concept, though, you're taking the wheel. So you're taking more responsibility. Now, who wants more responsibility? Poor people don't, because they want somebody else to take care of it for them. And I don't know, maybe that's okay. Not for me, it's not, though. So if you want to take some responsibility, now I'm not asking you to build the car from scratch and reinvent the wheel, but I'm asking you to take a couple driving lessons. Now we kind of got the autopilot engaged. We kind of got some extra perks involved to make it as easy as possible. But this is you taking responsibility. Now doing it in the highest responsive, most innovative, most powerful asset class of all time, and having an approach that is risk averse first, and doing it in a way nobody else is doing it, and having an army of support behind you. Yeah, now we're starting to work within the realm of responsible. Because I'll tell you this: no matter what, you got to have your money allocated across several different assets. Dan doesn't have 100% of his money in crypto, nor do I. But I don't have 100% of my money out of crypto either, and nor should you. You should have it spread across. And by the way, eventually in the plan, you'll learn. Not just in automations. If you do the plan right, cash flow will become less important to you each and every single day. In longer term wealth accumulation, where you have wealth that outlives even you, will start to take on more of a priority. And so these are the things that we're preparing you for future phases, none of which are required, but available when we know you're going to level up and be ready for them. But we first start here, where we get cash flow. We get it quickly. We get it consistently, and that's at the plan.vip/join.
Jason, on average, 41 people die from lightning strikes per year in the United States alone, and the internet has not gone down once for the whole United States for even a single day. So
not even a single day, right? By the way, all you golfers out there, you better quit golfing then. I mean, tell a golfer to not golf anymore. You got to take on some acceptable risk. Because I'll tell you, the risk of staying on the outside to me is greater than the risk of getting in on the outside, because inflation is eating away at your dollar or your whatever, your yen, your pound, whatever your currency is. Inflation's saying, hey, listen, buddy, if you don't got a plan, I'm going to continue to eat away at your buying power. So you better do something to offset that. And you can either trust blindly somebody else to quote unquote take care of your money for you, like these hedge funds, which consistently lose more money than a freaking monkey throwing a dart at a ticker symbol. You want to trust them because they get paid whether you win or you lose. Will and I, we don't have any vested interest in your amount of money you put into crypto. We don't get we don't get a kickback because you use this exchange versus that exchange, right? So we're not recommending exchanges based upon commission structures that would be sent back to us. None of that funny business. We're an education company. We measure our success on repeat business, meaning if people buy phase one, become successful with it, guess what they're going to do? They're going to consider phase two. Or you are likely referred here today by somebody who went through the plan, because we get tons of word of mouth referral. That's how we grow our business, with efficacy, by helping as many people as possible. The more we help you, the more it helps us. That's not how the world works, unfortunately. It's a fairy tale in most parts of the world. It doesn't work that way. That's how the world we've designed works. The plan.vip/join. All right. I have a great question here from Christelle. It's a little bit of a complicated question, so I'm going to read it kind of slowly. If I invested $10,000 and ended up with $1,000 during a downturn,
I assume, Christelle, that you mean the value. You had a value of 10,000 when you started, and then it became a value of 1,000 because there was a massive loss. That's, by the way, that is a crazy loss, right? 90% loss, but let's just use your numbers. Does that mean that your $1,000 will not be able to earn as much money as there's less capital available? No, Christelle, it doesn't work that way. And this is why it's the same example of the house being rented applies, because it's not about, the wiggle isn't about the amount of money you invest necessarily. It's about how much of the coin you invest in, because we said you're going to put in at least $3,000 worth of that coin that you're going to buy to put in the bot. Let's say the $10,000 bought you 10,000. Let's say that the $10,000 you invested cost $1 per coin. That means you'd have 10,000 coins. If the value goes down, you still have 10,000 coins. I'm simplifying here to make a point for you. You still have 10,000 coins, and the profit amount on a per trade is still going to be the same as when it was valued at $10,000. So you will continue to make that same money, that same amount, regardless of the current valuation, as long as the coin is continuing to wiggle. Every wiggle will make you about the same amount of money, regardless of the valuation of that coin. From the time you set up the bot. Think of it this way, that example I gave earlier of the rental house. You buy a house for $100,000. You rent it for $1,000 a month. If the property goes down and it's now only worth $25,000, it went down 75%, do you make less money? No, the rent, hopefully you're still getting $1,000 a month in rent. Rent doesn't usually go down with house values. So hopefully that makes sense and I haven't confused the heck out of everybody else.
Yeah, there's a dynamic factor and there's a static factor. The dynamic factor is, hey, the market could go up, it could go down, it could go sideways, it could be a huge amount, it could be a small amount. It's red today, it's green tomorrow. It's completely unpredictable. None of us can time the future. Only a fool or an absolute 1 in a billion kind of genius can predict that type of market, okay? But then there's a static, which is the bot says every time I'm going to buy a little bit and I'm going to sell it at a fraction higher than what I bought it for. That's a static. That is a mathematical equation at the end of the day. Whether you understand the math or not, it doesn't matter. It basically says it works out this way. As many times as possible per day, I'm going to make 37 cents. So the more the market fluctuates, the more chances I get to make 37 cents. And that's bot A. Bot B makes 42 cents. Bot C makes 77 cents, right? And that's how it does it. And that's how it's collecting your dividends for you. And so that's a static number. Now, by the way, because there was a good question related to this, that's off the table profits. So that's not prone to the fluctuation of what these cryptocurrencies are. That might be worth 10 today, but 5 tomorrow, and then 7 the next day, right? These are capturing the profits in what are known as stable coins, which mimic stable currency. They are pegged against the US dollar. And whether you have US dollars or not doesn't matter. They take a stable, very stable asset and they peg it against that. And so you get paid off the table, not automatically reinvested. It pulls it into your exchange, and there you have more of that coin in your exchange, which is stable. So it's not going to fluctuate. Like it's not going to go from 1 to 2. It's going to go from 1 to 1.01 back to 1, maybe to 0.99 back to 1. It stays super constant, almost exactly the same. And that is yours. And you're collecting that as many times as possible. Now, sometimes you'll collect it more than other times. It's not absolutely Swiss watch exact. The more volatile the market is, the more you'll capture it, because there's more buyers and sellers in that market a day and night driving the price up and down at a micro level, at a fractional level. And that's where the bots perform the best. Now, they do that, though, in all 3 market conditions. They do that when markets are booming, they do that when markets are busting, and they do that when markets are relatively staying tame, neither going up or down. If you zoom in close enough at a micro level, they're going all over the place. It's kind of like if you look at something that appears static, like a skin cell, if you're just kind of looking at it, it just looks like one static skin cell. You put it under a microscope, and there's like a million things happening, right? You're like, whoa, dude, I thought that thing was standing still, but under a microscope, I'm seeing thousands and thousands of movements happening all the time. That's kind of how we're trading, under a microscope. And so, yeah, you might not notice it if it goes from, 10 to 10.00001 if you're zoomed out, because it's just a rounding error. But if you zoom in enough, it's moving all over the place at all different times, and our bots are capturing that. And that is a constant, and it's realized and it's pulled off the table. Whereas the other one is the value we hold in the coin. And we believe one day the coin's going to go up. We do. Dan teaches to only invest in coins. First of all, out of the 15,000 coins that exist right out there in the crypto world, 14,000 and 700 of them you can just throw in the garbage. They will never meet the criteria of the plan, or maybe a year or two from now, because we never invest in new coins. That's a little tip for you. We stay away from them. Why? Too freaking risky, man. That's insane, right? So if you have extra money you want to gamble with, go ahead. But not me. And so we only focus on a few coins at any given time. And if they meet a condition, then yeah, bottom. If they don't meet a condition, then there will be other coins at that point in time that do meet the conditions that we're looking for. And that's what we focus on. And we believe those coins because they're in rarefied air as they already exist. They have utility and practicality and market cap as they already exist. We believe that in the future, they will go up. Maybe it's a year from now, maybe it's 2 years from now, maybe it's 5 years from now. But we're pretty bullish overall on a 5-year time frame of what crypto will do. On a 5-month time frame or a 5-day time frame, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, flip a coin. I don't know, right? But we don't care because there's still volatility. There's still that fluctuation of what's happening, and that's how we're capturing the profits. Will. I don't know if you're answering a question. It looks like you're typing to somebody in chat.
Sorry, I should have muted. My typing is pretty loud. I apologize for that. Yeah, I've been answering questions fast and furious here in the chat box.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something, but I guess the mic.
No, the question that has come up several times here is about technical capabilities. Here's the reality. If you can follow instructions and you were signed up and you're watching this webinar, you already have the technical abilities you need. It means you can go to a website, you can type in information in the form and fill out a form and click submit and registered, and you can read an email and you can click on links. There's obviously a little bit more to it than that, but there's no installation of the bot software on your computer. It all runs in the cloud, which means you can access everything with a web browser. Literally, you're walked through everything step by step in Dan's training. And if you do run into any issues, you have support. You can email us at support@rapidcrush.com anytime, day or night, and you're going to get a very, very fast reply from us. And if needs be, we will go back and forth with you as many times as it needs to help you. We'll send you screenshots, we'll send you video recordings, we'll send you whatever it needs you need in order to be able to do this. We are here to support everyone. We're here to support you, whatever your needs are related to implementing the plan. And we take support very, very, very seriously. Like I said, we have over 50 people overall supporting the plan, including tier 1 and tier 2 support. And Dan himself sometimes answers questions. If they get to a point where the team needs Dan's input in answering questions, he will do that. He's a very, very caring teacher and a very caring individual. And we are all here for your success. So you can rest assured you're going to get the best support you've ever seen in your life. We're going to spoil you when it comes to support. You are not going to see better support absolutely anywhere. So let's see. Support is 24/7. Yes, support is 24/7, and our average reply time is around 1 hour, just slightly under 1 hour for a first reply time on any given ticket. Now, that does not mean we will solve all the problems and have full answers. Sometimes it requires researching and testing and duplicating your problem in one of our environments to understand it and then come up with a solution. But you will always get a reply within 1 hour when you submit a ticket, so that you know a human being is working on your situation and is going to give you a reply. A lot of tickets get answered. A lot of support requests are answered immediately because we know what the issue is and we can help right away.
So go to theplan.vip/join. And as we wrap up this webinar here, I want to give you just a final thought to help you, whether the decision is a yes decision or a no decision, to make you a decision, because sitting on a fence is not very comfortable. It could probably hurt your back, give you hemorrhoids, and you can't see the world sitting on a fence. So at some point in time, you got to know, does this make sense for me or doesn't it? If the answer is no, I will support you in that. If the answer is yes, then we have a very specific way, not just with emotional and moral support, but with actual physical support agents, materials, education. Remember, all of this updates, and you get access to the free updates of the plan here, phase 1. You got to get in the game, my friend. But getting into the game without a plan, that ain't going to cut it. And so what would it take for you to know within your heart, not just within your mind, but within your heart, that this would be a good decision where you would feel safe and comfortable to move forward? If you have the answer to that, and the answer is yes, I would love for you to join us on this journey at theplan.vip/join. We're collecting countries at this point. We have 130 countries. By the time this countdown timer expires at theplan.vip/join, I hope to have like 135, maybe 140. They're becoming harder and harder to collect, but I'm willing to determine to find anybody I can in any corner of the earth to help with this. Because as a publisher, the way we win is when you win. So if you think you can win in crypto, and some people are, then you got to have a plan. And if you're going to have a plan, you should have the plan that has proven itself out more and more and more again. We focus on minimizing risk first. We don't like taking risks. We don't like putting ourselves in a position where we either go big or go home broke. We like the safest, simplest, easiest, surest approach. And if you're into that as well, you found your place. You found your community. You found your home. The plan.vip/join. When you get in there and you start winning, here's what I want you to do. I want you to support at rapidcrush.com. And I want you to share the story with us. We're a collector of these stories. These stories are what get us up in the morning and keep us going 4 hours into a webinar. So if you will just do me that favor, if you get in and you start experiencing success, and it happens probably quicker than you imagine, and it feels really good, in that moment when you said, yes, I made a good decision because this great thing happened to me, I want you to hear my voice in your head saying, tell me about it. And go to support at rapidcrush.com. Tell us about it. Let us know. And we are so excited for you. Theplan.vip/join. We'll see you in there. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.